Yeah.
Blank
Yeah,
Beats
yeah, yeah.
Production.
Hey, yeah. I ain't never been a motherfucking fucking bitch. I don't wanna talk, I'm just trying to stay lit. I'm trying to get a grip, why you gotta throw a fit? You can suck up on a dick for a fucking outfit. Why you gotta be a bitch? I ain't gonna buy you shit. We can light up like a bic, we can drink until we sick. I could die at 26, but I ain't gonna switch. I just woke up in a ditch, I just woke up in a, yeah. Let me go crazy, let me go hard. Ta, you fucking retard. Christy so high, she be chillin' in the stars. I don't need air, I be smoking no cigars. I be chillin' at these bars. I should never drive a car, cause I'm drinking fucking hard, man. I'm drinking fucking hard. This is my podcast, welcome to the show. Come and have a drink, ain't nobody gotta know. Yeah. Alcoholics Anonymous. Yeah. Welcome. Okay, we'll start in a second. No, oh my god, no, but fucking tequila. Have you seen my face? What happens to it when I drink it?
I don't think no. I don't think
It's
so.
just, it's so bad. Like, from the tip of my nose, I start breaking out in these red hives, all the way down to my neck, all the way down.
What were you drinking that day we went to the selfie museum? Was it that? Because I think your face.
I was drinking disso. Oh no, I was drinking a lot of things. Oh, when I cut my finger,
Yeah.
when I was like a dick to you that one day. I apologize about that, by the way.
Okay.
I just remember. Okay, so here's what I remember about that day. Like, it was me, you, Hunter, and Rebecca, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make like fucking tacos, and I'm just like fuck, like I was just like fuck, like my fucking finger.
Whole finger's gone.
I no, like did you see? It's
Yeah,
healed
it
now,
was
but it was
bad.
hanging off, like, and it was green for 2 days.
That's happened to my dad.
And he just super glued it, didn't he?
Yeah, he super
That's
glued it.
fucking dope.
You're supposed to use super glue or clear nail polish.
Well, so, and I remember getting fucking mad, and then I was like, fuck it, like I'm gonna fucking drink all day, and I just remember saying that to myself.
I remember you just like kind of bleeding in the backseat. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Like by the time I left here, I was fucking lit. I forgot what I was drinking. I'd probably just beers and fucking.
Yeah,
I think
you
I had
a little bit of everything. I think.
I had like whiskey, beers, fucking like strong fucking beers and whiskey. And I remember I brought a backpack with like a couple more beers with me.
Yeah.
And then we walked around downtown San Antonio after we went to that fucking place. And it was a shit show. Like we couldn't find anything to do, so we just ended up at that fucking bar. And then like I just started ordering. Man, I racked up like a two.
Oh, it was a year ago today.
Was it today? A year ago?
Rebecca sent me the pictures.
No way.
Yeah, she did.
Well, I just remember racking up like a fucking $200 bar tab, and it was so. God, I remember like I was like I'm fucked. But yeah, that day I was drinking Disaronno, which is like a sweet liqueur, and I think it was all that sugar and shit. But I don't know, broke out in hives.
Yeah.
And I told you the bartender gave me a fucking $10 tab. Fuck, like that guy. Yeah, but I hope my face doesn't break.
My sister, she gave me her. I don't know if I can say this. I acquired her old ID, so now I'm 21. So now I can buy liquor. But she was like, "Do you want my old ID?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah, I'll take your old ID." Like I got a whole year.
I've had a couple of people that are 21 on this show, but it's like for me, it's like we don't even drink alcohol on this show. Like that's what's so funny is like it's just a joke. Like we don't even fucking drink. It's so funny. Like I've only drank one time on this show with real people. I mean, with real alcohol. like yeah, no, it's a fucking joke.
How do they know we're not related? It's okay.
We're related, aren't we?
The skin color is the same.
Yeah. No, dude, I'm getting sick of people like fucking teasing me for being black. You know, like it's
so hard to live like this.
Dude, Black Lives Matter out here. You know.
It's okay, I get the white jokes.
Yeah. No. So, what is the worst part about living in Bernie, Ohio? Do you think?
The racism's a little high there.
In Bernie, Ohio, it's high here.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to get in on it or get left out.
Oh, thank God we're not white.
Thank God.
No, my older brother had this friend. I was in the vehicle with him, and he would just
he rolled down the window one time, and there was a black guy walking by, and he goes, "White power!" And the black guy, I swear to God, like, rammed the fucking truck, and I'm like this 12-year-old in the back seat. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I was so fucking freaked out. My brother's like going to get beer and shit for us. It's fucking nuts. Yeah. Yeah. No. Before we even start this fucking podcast, I just want to thank you and your husband for all the sacrifices y'all make. You know, it's not easy being black and Mexican and whatnot. No, I appreciate it. I really appreciate his service a lot, and like, it sucks that he can't be here with us right now. But you know, it's people like him that people like me can do a fucking like show like this for fun, and like get his girlfriend or his wife fucking hammered, like allegedly off of fake alcohol.
No, we only got 2 months hopefully, so we're good.
That's fucking dope. Okay, so the other day I was thinking about. Did you ever listen to Dave Chappelle? A little bit.
Not as much anymore.
He had this special recently where it wasn't even recent. It was a couple years ago where he's like, "Why do you think we all work 8 to 5? Or 9 to 5?" He's like, "'Cause 8 to 6 can kill a bitch." And I was like, "That's so fucking true." 'Cause you know, like sometimes like life is just too fucking hard. Yeah. Do you ever feel that way? Like
just like to get up, to do it all every day.
Like the responsibilities.
Yeah, that we put on ourselves, and then the extra responsibilities that we put on ourselves that we don't even need to put on ourselves.
Yeah, like if you think about it, like you get a full-time job, you pay your bills. Like I mean, this is what most people have to go through. You pay your fucking bills, electric, water, Wi-Fi, you know, cell phone, car insurance, gas money,
subscriptions.
You know, subscriptions, like all entertainment. You know, like car insurance, like cars. You know, then it's like, whoops, got in a car crash, my fucking savings is gone. You know what I mean? Like it's just fucking ridiculous. You buy a fucking dog, you have to get food. Then you're supposed to eat healthy on top of that shit. And then, you know, you're supposed to fucking exercise. Then you're supposed to get married. Then you're supposed to work on your fucking marriage. And then you're supposed to maintain friendships. And then you're supposed to keep a savings, buy a house, avoid debt. And then, like, people are like, "Where the fuck are you going on vacation this year?" I'm like, "Somewhere tropical, I hope." And then, you know, it's like, then you have your fucking parents like, "Hey, honey, when are you going to have kids?" And it's like, fuck. And it's like, then I got to have a kid, take care of that little bitch for 20 years. And then it's like, he's out of my life, right? But then he's like, no, not really. Because then he has a $400,000, like, fucking college tuition I got to help him out with. Yeah. And then I got to be able to, like, retire and travel before my fucking legs stop working. So.
And then set up what you want your death to be like, so.
Yeah.
You got to plan your own funeral.
It's just, that's what fucking life is. And I've noticed that lately, you know.
I was literally looking at our bills the other day, and we pay over $200 on subscriptions alone.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, that's too much for one person to be paying. We pay for like Apple One. We had Spotify.
Yeah, lean to the mic a little bit.
Sorry, we have like just too many subscriptions, and I was like, I'm gonna have to make some choices because this shit's not working.
Well, I was looking up how. You can stay, I guess. I looked up how much I fucking spend on alcohol every paycheck I get. My wife's in the room if anyone's just listening to this.
She's like, I see it all.
It's like $200 a paycheck.
You sound just like Brian.
Yeah, no, it's like $200 a fucking paycheck. And then, I don't know.
But I'm pretty sure if we didn't spend the money on those not needed things, I would not make it through the day. Like, there's no way.
You need those fucking things to make shit, like, to make it through the fucking day. You know what I mean? You're good? Like, no, but, like, on top of all that shit, like, all the responsibilities as, like, an adult, it's like, people are like, you know, you also shouldn't drink that much. It's like, fuck you. Like, oh, my God. Like, fuck off. Like, and then it's like, I bet cigarettes are bad for you, too. You know what I mean? Like, fuck that. No, I mean, it's just fucking.
You want me to be successful and miserable? Like, I gotta drink.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I gotta fucking drink. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm sorry, I can get this shit on every corner store in America. No, you know what's crazy? I'm about to go to Vegas. What's fucking crazy is like, in Vegas, like the prostitution is fucking legal.
I think when I went to Vegas, the most surprising thing was just like how nobody took COVID seriously. Like when I went to Vegas, no, shit didn't exist. Like they're all in the casinos.
But that's what Vegas is all about. You know, they don't give a fuck in Vegas. Like you know what the crazy thing is that weed was banned from Vegas for the longest time. You remember? Not that I didn't remember that shit, but I've never even fucking been there. But
and the cookie store in LA or in Vegas is like literally right there on the strip now. Literally,
is it
the main attraction? There's like a line all around the building.
Really? Is it like a weed cookie store?
It's
okay, gotcha.
Sorry, it's a weed store.
No, I heard this other comedian. I heard this one comedian talk about Vegas where he was like, he's like, you could go wake up 8 o'clock in the morning, crack open a beer, fucking gamble your life savings away, but how dare you light a fucking joint in this city because there's children here. Like, it's nuts. That's what. Thank God it's fucking legal there. It should be legal everywhere.
The roads right now are so fucked up. Literally, it was so hard getting an Uber.
In Vegas?
Yeah, right now.
Oh, don't tell me that.
I went maybe 2 months ago, the whole roads, they're just all under construction. Literally.
That's bullshit.
And then, if you go to Vegas, there's a speakeasy style dinner. And
no
the
shit.
Prohibition era. That thing was like,
Can
there's
you
a
get my
lady.
glasses on my nightstand for
There's
me,
a
baby?
lady literally singing.
Case.
She's like singing old style. She's all dressed up.
I would love to like go back in time and open a speakeasy up.
Yeah.
During Prohibition, what the government would do, because you know how they didn't want people drinking.
Yeah.
They would poison barrels of alcohol, and then like give it to speakeasies, like sell it to them, but obviously undercover.
Yeah.
And then people were like dying from like poisonous alcohol's poisonous enough. Like they're gonna kill themselves no matter what.
I'm getting a drink.
Oh, if you want to go get the one out of the freezer, the Kentucky Kiss. Yours is on the left. If you can get mine too.
You don't get one again. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I got glasses.
You needed them or you just got them?
No, I need them. Let's see. Yeah, that's mine. I think you'll like this drink. It's not bad.
Oh.
It's really
she
not
wants
bad.
to try it first, okay? What is it?
It's a Kentucky Kiss.
Oh, it's whiskey.
It does have whiskey in it, allegedly.
I can taste. No, I like this one.
Yeah, I think it's better. I think it's better than the fucking margarita.
Because you can taste the whiskey, but it's kind of hidden.
Yeah.
It's not like straight up.
I think it's better. I think it's way better than the margarita.
Sorry, you can't drink this. Kona's like, I want to drink.
You know what whiskey translates to is the water of life.
Really?
Yeah, it's Latin or some shit. I don't fucking know. Yeah, I fucking love whiskey though. Okay, so I always ask everyone on my podcast this question, usually to start off. So when did you have your first drink, and what kind of drunk are you?
Let me think. I think I had my first drink like maybe 11, 12 actually, really young. My parents would rather us drink in the house.
Yeah.
And my brother was like discovering alcohol, so we kind of all drank together. We kind of went through
But your parents were cool with it, right?
Yeah, my parents were like super cool with it because they're like, if you're gonna get drunk, like get drunk here.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be driving out and you're drunk in the fucking street.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let me ask you this real quick. So that was your first drink, right?
Yeah.
And just growing up with it.
Yeah.
And then what kind of drunk would you say you are?
Okay, if I drink like shots and shit and like I'm going too fast, like if I'm just drinking like hella,
Drinking
then
fucking hard, yeah.
I get really like, I get angry or just like stupid.
Yeah.
Like angry stupid. But if I'm drinking like to chill kind of like this and like we're just like talking, I can get kind of like vibe chill. Like, like vibe drunk.
I think it's all the atmosphere, and it's
Yeah.
always your intention before you start drinking.
But like dark liquor can't do that. Like straight up, if it's straight up, I cannot do that.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
like I'm like I get really like just like upset so easily.
A lot of people say that about dark liquor. They just get
Yeah.
fucking angry all the time. Like, yeah, I don't know. So like, what liquor do you prefer? Like, what's your favorite drink?
I would say like a strawberry Cosmo is gotta be my favorite.
What is Cosmo? I've never had a
Strawberry
Cosmo.
Cosmo. It's got like at
Is it vodka? in it?
It's vodka, but at the fucking Cheesecake Factory, yes, she made the best one I ever tasted. Literally, like that shit was so good. It's got like a mint leaf in it. It's like it's kind of like I don't know what it's like.
Yeah, no, I got you. I mean, I don't think I tried it when we were at Cheesecake Factory.
That, and then I would have to say Modelo's. Got to be like that's like second.
I can't do Modelo.
I can do Modelo, but next morning I'm feeling like shit.
It's such like it's something about that beer like does make me feel like shit.
I think it's just heavy. Like
it's so fucking heavy, and it's like I don't Mexican beer like always. I have to be in a certain mood for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I gotta be ready to either get drunk or go home.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Like I gotta be wanting to be drunk for a minute too, because I feel like that drunk gets like is long. It's like it lags. But and then I would say wine has to be my everyday, because I've been drinking like wine a lot recently.
It's the best. Isn't
yeah,
it? It's the fucking,
like so
but
easy.
There's something about wine that makes you feel like you're not cheating,
or like you're not even like you're just like kind of just drinking a drink with a meal.
Yeah, like it's. Like, okay, I don't know about that, but like
that's how I feel.
For me, I'll drink a fucking bottle with a meal. Like I don't know about you, I can just drink the fuck out of wine. I really can.
They've got these new I know they say like boxed wine is the like ghetto wine.
I love it.
No, that shit's so easy to just keep drinking, because you're not
you
even
can
like,
keep it in your fridge and just like go and just fill your glass up.
They've got this brand called Black Box. And
yeah,
that shit is
everyone
amazing.
loves Black Box.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go for what, red or white wine?
Red.
Okay, what kind of red?
Red, like either
Cabernet. Merlot.
Merlot.
I go for Merlot.
I gotta go with Merlot. Every time, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's like Cabernet's got to be like maybe just a little off. I'm feeling a little different, but
yeah.
I've got Merlot in my fridge right now.
Those box wines, I finished a whole one in one day. They're like 5 bottles in a box. You know
that,
right?
I know. Yeah, they're like 3 and 3.5 liters or something like that.
Something nuts. Like
literally,
there's like 3 or 4 bottles in that bitch.
I don't
it's
even
fucking nuts.
feel like I'm drinking that much, and it's obviously that much.
Yeah, like you ever black out sometimes?
I think the first time I drank box wine, I for sure did.
Sure,
I wasn't even aware of how much I was drinking.
I think that's also hard, because like when you have a bottle of wine, have a few glasses, and it's like you see the results in the bottle, and you kind of get an idea. But with box wine, it's like a mystery box. Like you have no idea how much you fucking took out of that
until
thing.
You pick that shit up and you're like, wow.
Like every last drop is going in this glass. Yeah.
There's the brand, and they have these huge like 5-liter jugs of wine.
Ooh.
Literally. Then there's a girl I live next to. She used to carry that shit everywhere.
Really?
Yeah. She was ready.
But what is it like? I heard someone say this one time, like you see a guy going to a liquor store bringing a bottle of whiskey home, but then it's like you see a guy with flowers and a couple bottles of wine, and everyone's like, "Aw," and it's like, no, like wine fucks you up sometimes.
Like you just want that cheap drunk right there, that quick drunk.
Yeah, and I think wine is awesome because you don't have to pay a lot of fucking money to get a good wine. You know, does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Actually, the best wine I've tried, I've been trying a couple different ones. It's a bubbly. We made like mimosas, but then I tried it by itself. Mm-hmm. It's actually a barefoot one. So it's a barefoot.
Barefoot has some good wine.
It's a barefoot bubbly, and that like was so smooth. I felt like I wasn't even drinking. Like I felt like I was drinking water.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's the fucking best. Oh, have you started morning drinking ever?
I started afternoon lunch drinking.
The best is when you wake up in the morning and like your wife is still asleep and your fucking dog's not trying to go out.
Those peaceful moments.
Yeah, you go outside, it's still dark outside. You fucking light a cigar, have a glass of wine or something. It's like empty stomach, instant buzz. It's the fucking best.
No, I've started, because I'm not a big breakfast person. So like if I know I got like hella homework to do, I'll already get a glass of wine before I even eat.
Homework.
Get a glass of wine before I even eat, and I feel like I'm on a roll with that homework. I feel like it makes my brain work harder.
I forgot what you were in school for.
I was previously for psychology, but my teacher kind of bummed me out on that one. Yeah, so I switched it. I'm doing childcare, education, and teaching. So I want to become a teacher.
Can you tell me any fun things you learned in psychology?
I
learned a couple of fun things, but
no, I feel like that teacher ruined it for me. Like she really did. Like I think some of the most interesting things that I learned in psychology was like the development of a child, like when you're pregnant and shit like that. But other than that, like everything else, like she was super like I don't know if she was like she just didn't feel like she taught us right. Like she just taught us
Really?
like she kind of just threw it at us and was like learn this, and I'm like that's not how I learn.
What like do you know like when a baby? This is like about psychology. Like when a baby, you get in front of a baby's face and you play peekaboo with it.
Yeah.
Their part of their brain's not formed all the way, so they
really
literally
think
your
you're gone.
face
Yeah.
went away, and they're like, "Fuck, it's there!" Like,
Yeah, I think the most interesting is like the nature nurture stuff.
yeah,
That relates to like every single thing in childcare. So I think it's crazy like how much when like especially as a kid if you didn't receive, you know, something or you receive too much of it, it can still affect you like 20 years later. Like I think that's the most interesting thing about psychology and how it works with kids. Like it's crazy.
It's fucking crazy. Like, and the thing is, like, no parent is gonna get that shit down to a T. You know what I mean? Like, you're either gonna have too much or you're gonna lack a lot of shit. I would feel like there's more kids out there lacking than like having an abundance of certain things. Like, there's nothing worse than a fucking spoiled brat that has too much and like they don't know how to work. You know what I mean? Like
they don't know how to like live by themselves.
Yeah.
No, actually, it was like almost 75% of single income homes are actually moms.
Wow, really?
They're doing it by themselves and they're having to take care of the child by themselves. I thought that was really interesting. And out of that 75%, more than like 60, 50 are all minorities.
Wow, that's nuts.
I was like, I had to do a project over it, and some of the statistics are like actually really sad. Like,
yeah, like no, it is sad. And what is up with minorities? Do you think that have to deal with that more than the white folk?
I think it's like breaking. My mom was talking about the other day, breaking the history in your family. If you see your mom, you know, like pregnant at 16, you're gonna think that's okay. If you see like your dad, you know, not really working all his life, you're gonna think that's okay.
Yeah.
And so you break the chain.
You gotta break the cycle.
Yeah.
Because then it's like it's a product of, I guess, like I think that's a product of poverty back in the day, and then now it's like it just like they just saw what their parents did, and then they just stay in that cycle. You know what I mean? Like
my mom literally said the other day, she was like, I'm proud of the kids I raised because all of my kids who've reached 18 have graduated high school. I can't say the same for all of your cousins. And I think that's insane. Like even right now, like half of my cousins have not graduated high school.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I mean, God damn it, that beer tastes like shit after drinking that cocktail. Fuck.
That water.
That's
the
what
water
I meant.
tastes like shit.
The water tastes like shit.
Fucking tap water.
Like, I don't know. It's so fucking complicated. You can't. There's nothing I can do to fix anything. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just a person.
I don't think you could totally break it down to a complete science, but I think there are like unfortunates that go into like.
Well, and then you have a situation like so my mom raised 5 kids.
Yeah.
4 of them have ended up great. I'm included in that 4, in my opinion. Like, I ended up pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, I have a wife. Like, I work.
You have a roof. You have food. You have,
I pay my bills. Bitch. Don't tell me not to fucking drink. Like, God. Like, oh. No, but then, like, I have an older brother who is just got his 5th girl pregnant, and he has not taken care of a single one of them. My parents actually have one of the kids because CPS took it away, and then my parents like, we'll take that kid. And it's like, then he just got another girl pregnant. So this is 5 kids in 2 years, and he's a meth head. And it's like, not everything is a science because it's like, if my dad did that to us, it's like, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Or like if we grew up in a broken home, it's like, no, we grew up white privilege all the way.
Yeah.
I mean, black privilege all the way. And like, we grew up very privileged.
Content, just like you should, like it should not have turned out that
above
way.
Content.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up like where in high school, my parents sent me to Europe 3 times in high school. Like I was able to go to Europe. I didn't have to pay a fucking dime. They bought me 2 cars in high school, 2 different cars, and I never asked for it. Like I never did, but my dad always told me like, this is something that I enjoy doing for you, and I'm like,
because if you can as a parent, I think being able to do it for your kid is like a whole different level of like success. Like I think that's definitely the goal. Like and some people don't see it that way, but I think being able to give your future kid
Yeah.
everything that you probably never did have. Because like you said, you grew up like, you know, a little more privileged than most. And when we grew up, I was more privileged than other people of my particular skin tone and of my groups that I would hang out in. So a lot of them weren't as fortunate. So even like if I wasn't given all these great things, we're still doing good because like you have everything you need.
You were provided for, like, and I'm sure, I don't know anything about like your parents, but maybe they did better than what they had to deal with. So
my parents did way better than what their parents could
that's what my mom always told me growing up. She said, like, a parent is never perfect, but if you're a good parent, you do better than what you were taught and what you got to deal with.
My grandma had 9 kids, so my mom was one of the 9, and she was one of the older ones, so she literally took care of everybody. It was so crazy. She had, I think, 4 boys, 5 girls, and like 2 of the girls were twins.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
And 3 of them were younger than my mom, 6 were younger, but 3 were the youngest that my mom took care of.
Yeah.
So my mom was just like, she said she never wanted to get pregnant at 16, and she still did. And then she had my brother, and then...
Did she get married right after she got pregnant or no?
So, believe it or not, my dad is not my brother's dad.
Oh, no way.
So,
okay.
My brother that passed had a different dad.
But I've met your dad. I've seen him before,
you've seen my dad. My mom had her first love. He passed away.
Oh, that's sad.
When my brother was 6 months.
Oh, wow.
In a car accident. So he didn't have like a seatbelt on, and he got thrown out the vehicle. Yeah, shit like that happens when you're being irresponsible.
Yeah.
They were all drunk, so it was like I wouldn't say it's their own fault, but it's like, stuff like that does happen.
Yeah. I mean, they were just being kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
he was only 21. So
yeah, that's a kid. I'm 24 years old and I'm a fucking kid. Like, that's just fucking crazy. That's sad though.
Yeah. So she was stuck with my brother, and then she met my dad because her best friend was my dad's cousin. So that's how they met, and then they ended up being together and getting married. Her best friend was my dad's cousin.
Your dad's cousin. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, I had to put that together.
No relations.
Like, where does fucking third party come from? Like, yeah. No. That's sad though that he had to die that way.
Yeah.
No one wants to die that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of what I was saying earlier. Like I was very privileged to like be able to go to Europe and do things like that. But I think there was an important difference between being privileged and having the opportunity to do those things, but not feeling entitled to those things. Does that make sense?
Like I don't want to. You weren't begging to go to Europe, saying you have to go to Europe.
I didn't even
take me to Europe or I'm done.
Yeah, it was more like, like it was one of those things that like, oh, like I would like to do this, and if I need to pitch in or do anything, like I'll work for the summer.
Yeah, we'll
like
figure it out.
And then it was just one of those things like my dad just did well at that point. Like he got a really good couple checks, and he's like, yeah, like I'll send you, and like they never.
Also, if you're not like a bad kid, or if you're not like actually like getting into all this different shit, I'm sure they would be happy to send you.
I was a great kid. Like my dad pulled me aside one day and he goes, you know why I send you to Europe? I'm like, why? He goes, because I can pay a couple grand for you to go to Europe and you get a great experience out of it. Or for the 10th time, I could bail your fucking brother out of jail. And I was like, oh, that's
what I wanted to hear.
That's a great fucking investment. Yeah. No, anytime that I've ever fucked up, my brother makes me look like a fucking saint.
Yeah, you're like, my fuck up is probably 1/5 of your fuck up.
It's great. Oh my God. But it was fun, like, kind of growing up with a fuck up of a brother. Like, not like fun, not seeing my mom cry all the time and stuff like that. But, like I was a kid. And I'd come home and he'd black out drunk, make it home somehow. And then he would leave a backpack full of beer, like in the living room. And I'd just go get a separate backpack and start filling that bitch up. And then he'd wake up the next morning like, I thought I had more beer than this. I'm like, you must have been really drunk last night, bro.
You must have drank all that shit.
He's like, oh fuck, like.
I don't think my siblings, we were really tight knit because we were a military family.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say one of us was worse than the other, but my brother definitely. Older brother had like I don't care for school type attitude. He wasn't a bad kid though because he was super smart. He He just hated school.
Like, did he have plans to go into the military?
No, he just like he liked drawing and he liked technical. So he liked like building stuff, and he just felt like school was not a part of the plan.
Yeah.
So he just felt like he didn't have to do it. So you have one kid, me, at 16 graduating, and one kid, him, almost 20, about to graduate because he doesn't want to go through school.
Yeah. And what I hate is that the model is like everybody has to go to school.
Yeah.
You know, it's like everyone has to go to school. Like I remember talking to like school counselors, and like they didn't even give me other options besides going to college.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want to go to college for? It's like, what makes you think I'm going to college? Like, they're like, well, you know, if you want to be successful, you have to go to college. I'm like, that's the attitude why the college life is so oversaturated with fucking with too many kids, and that's why no one can get a job when they get their degree, and then they have so much fucking debt and all this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I ended up getting into college at 16.
That's nuts.
Going to college for my first semester, and I hated it. I was so alone. I was still a kid.
You were so young, too.
I did not like. That was the last place I wanted to be. I was surrounded. I got into a private college, or what is it?
Oh, yeah. Like university?
Yeah, like a university. And the amount of people that were around me that didn't have to work was insane. Like, I had to go to work every day after school so I could pay my tuition. And they'd be like, where are you going? And I'm like, I'm going to work. Like, because I have to work to pay my tuition.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, doesn't your parents do that? And I'm like, yeah, they do as much as they can, but I got to go to work.
Yeah, for real. I mean, that's like nuts that you had to do that. So why didn't you take a couple years off? I mean, I guess that would be kind of like counterintuitive, or if that's the right word for it.
Like defeating the purpose.
Yeah, because like you want to, so you can get college over soon or quicker or whatever.
I don't think that was my mindset. It was more like I had this plan since I was like literally probably 12 to where I'm going to graduate early. I'm going to go to college. Like I had this set plan. And then when I go and I do it, and then I just wasn't feeling the plan anymore. Mm-hmm. And then one day I decided, like, I want to go home. And then I dropped out of college, and I'm like, I can come back, and I'm earlier than everybody else. I can come back in 2 years.
Wait 16, 17, 8. Yeah, you could wait 2-3 years even, because a lot of people take a year off. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And come back at the same age everybody else is.
3 years off of off of school, like. You know how fucking psychopathic it is that we go to school since kindergarten, and then we graduate at 18, and then we go to school for another 5 years or 4 years.
4 years, almost to 8, if you want to do something big.
And then if you want to be like bigger, you have to go to school for like 10 years after that. Then oh my god, fuck that. You know,
like I think to a point, I think all I thought was my school achievements.
Yeah,
like, that's all I thought I was. Like, yeah, I'm smart. Yeah, like I'm ready for the world, whatever. But like, am I happy? Like, do I like being here?
Yeah.
In school, and I wasn't. So I'm like, I went to my RA, and I'm like, I'm moving out on this day, and I moved out. Like, and I didn't say anything.
But then also, like, that's like just a unfun way to do college, I think.
Yeah.
Is that you? I can go get those mojitos if you want.
Sorry.
I should have made like 8 drinks like I did last time. I made like 8 cocktails last time. Here, you want a mojito?
Sure.
Okay. Keep talking.
I think, but after I got out of school, I took some time, and now I'm 20. Just turned 20. No, 21. Just turned like 23, and I'm almost done with my associate's degree. So I'm almost done, and I'll have a degree around the same time. Everybody else that I went to school with is done too. So that time off really didn't affect me. I feel like it kind of just gave me time to think, I feel like.
Well, you also got to meet your husband.
Yeah.
Or did you go to high school together?
Yeah, we went through all high school together.
Did he graduate early?
He did not. He was not as smart as he was not as dedicated as I was. I actually had to finish and finesse some of those classes for him.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, I was just his tutor. But no,
I bet you were.
He was a year behind me. So I ended up going to school. He ended up finishing his school, and
These aren't very sweet, but they're really refreshing.
By the time he got out of his school, I was leaving college, saying fuck it. And he joined at the end of his school year, and he was gone by the end of that next
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
I don't know, like, I don't remember how I started talking to him. I think you were just FaceTimed him a couple times, and like, I happened to be there, like, when you started hanging out with my wife.
Yeah.
But I met him y'all's wedding day,
Yeah.
and I fucking love y'all's wedding night because it was so untraditional. Like, it was me and him hanging out in y'all's hotel room, and then you and Becca hanging out, and him and I were just getting fucking hammered. Like, it was so fun.
And it's so funny you say that because we wanted the big traditional. That's what we wanted because we didn't want our wedding day to be a waste. That's how we felt. As a military couple, everybody gets hitched or like super quick.
Shotgun weddings probably a lot, right?
It just like, if we didn't want that. We wanted to kind of show everybody like we were together all through high school. Like, this is serious. Like, it's not just because he's in the military. So that's how we felt. And then we were trying to keep it as civil as traditional as possible. Then our families were clashing, so both of my sides wanted to throw me an after party, and we were like, fuck it, we want to go with our friends. like I'm pretty sure if I go to your after party I'll be miserable, and I'm pretty sure if I go to your after party I'll be miserable.
I left y'all's wedding early, and Becca's like, what are we doing now? I was like, I'm going to the gas station getting all the fucking alcohol I can get.
I really like the hotel we stayed at.
Yeah, it was fucking cool hotel. No, but like, I remember I got like whiskey. I got fucking like girly drinks. I got like a 24 pack of like Modelo, and I remember like every one of his military buddy or Marine buddies. No, we'll get to that in a second. They came and hung out in my room first because y'all were like, I'm pretty sure y'all were banging or something.
Yeah.
Who knows? And then they were like, hey, let's go to Jake's place, and so like I made every one of them take like a double shot of whiskey. And oh my god, some of those guys were really cool though.
It's crazy, like, because even though you don't know the military people you surround yourself with for too long, you're gonna consider them family because you already know their struggle because their struggle is your struggle. If I see a military wife, I'm trying to be more understanding, even if she's a bitch. Like her husband's probably gone. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you can connect on a deeper level than some people, civilians, like think you can connect on. You're like, see them and they're like, oh, they've only been friends for 2 weeks, but that 2 weeks is probably like everything.
Like, it's probably like a few months to them, you know what I mean? Yeah, I still have a man crush on that fucking guy, Kevin. I fucking love that fucker.
Kevin, he actually went to high school with us, so Kevin was, he was so funny during high school.
I laugh at that guy so fucking hard.
And it's so fucking funny because we were taking wedding pictures after the reception, right? So we were taking wedding pictures outside. Guess who's in the fucking background?
Kevin. Fucking
just standing there posing against the wall.
I wish he didn't live here, does he?
He lived in Schulenburg with us, and then he moved with his dad to the coast. I think he lives on the coast.
I need to see him again so bad.
No, yeah, for sure, bro. He's so fucking funny. He's like country as can be, but that man, he's got some hood. Like,
he's so cool. Like, he just seems like one of those guys. As soon as I saw him, like, I want to be friends with this.
Down for anything. Like, that's the type of.
I remember we're just drinking.
You text him if you're in his city. 15 minutes. Give me 15 minutes.
I want to fucking see him again. I want to see him again so bad. I really do.
I've got to get a snap. I know for sure. But, like, through high school, he had a controlling girlfriend, so he actually wasn't allowed to do a lot.
That's probably why he's so fun now, because he's free. You know what I mean?
And after he finally broke up with her, like, he's been, like, just living life.
Yeah. He's the only person I remember his name out of all, out of, like, everyone from that trip.
And that's funny, too, because they say last names, right? So they say last names, and I remember first names.
Kevin there.
Yeah, but I remember first names. So Kevin's Kevin, but his last name's Tribig. And then there's Danny Wynn, and then there was Dylan David. That's his name.
Dylan the black guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The tall one. And then Danny was the...
He's my brother. Same race.
So...
Oh, I can feel my face starting to break out in hives.
I see your nose a bit.
Ah, fuck you. Fuck you.
Just a little red.
Why the fuck did I buy tequila? I have like a jug of tequila over there. Fuck me. It's all good, though.
And you're gonna have to finish it. Like, that's a waste if you don't.
I might just give it a fuck. Like, I can literally feel my face, like, flushing.
Is it hot?
Yeah, no, yeah. It feels warm in my head. Like, it's...
When I get super, like, drunk, my feet and my hands and my arms start to swell.
No shit.
Yeah, I've never. It took me a while to notice it because I'm always like, why do my feet hurt so bad the next day? But they're like little fatty. Like
No shit. That's nuts.
Yeah.
You know, like, but what it is apparently, when your face breaks out in hives like that, it's your liver is having a hard time breaking down that particular type of alcohol. But for some reason, like a lot of people have that problem with dark liquor.
But it's just
And for me, it's
tequila.
just clear. It's like, and by the way, tequila is like one of the healthiest liquor for your liver.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, man, like.
I actually noticed too last time I was like super drunk. I had woke up the next day. My whole arm just was like, just the nerves were shot. Like my whole
What?
arm. And they say that happens after a really bad hangover because your body, your neurological responses to your arm were thrown off the night before.
What?
So my
What the
whole
fuck are
arm
you
was just
talking
like
about?
literally no. I looked it up. They said it has to like your hangover has to be so fucking bad, whatever.
You know what happens? You know what, when I get that is half my face feels numb and I feel like I'm having a stroke. But then I'm like, oh, I'm fine. Like I start having panic
I'm just
attacks and
fucking
shit.
hungover.
Yeah.
No, I think
No.
that's like like my body. I wasn't a big drinker, so I think my body just I attacked it with a lot of drinking in the past couple months. So I think my body was just like, holy shit, what
I've been
the
working
fuck
on that
is
the
this?
past couple of years. Fuck.
But,
No. Like, I guess so. I guess you really didn't like have to go to parties and shit in high school to like drink a lot.
Actually, I didn't go to any parties. I
never did either.
I didn't have any friends. Brian was my only friend. When you're in between being a junior and a senior, you don't have any friends. When you're that weird girl that's graduating early.
Yeah.
So it was me and Brian for the
Fucking
most part.
misfit.
And the friends that I did have, they were just like, I guess like face friends. You know, like I don't know what other
Like
word
acquaintances
it is.
or like for me, I don't have a lot of friends. I just have a lot of drinking buddies.
Yeah, you just see them and then like you're cool, but like you'd probably never road trip across the
Yeah.
US with them.
Well, like I wish I could just have friends where like friends with no benefits. Like that's it. Like that's how I guess I would label
I think
it.
the attachment part of like you have to text them every day. You have to
That
call
that's
them.
what I'm talking about. Like why can't I have a buddy?
Like Rebecca, your wife, like
Mm-hmm.
she's like an angel sent from heaven. Like if I don't text her for a whole week, she'll still text me. Like she.
the first time that like she texted you to ask you to hang out and you never hit her up. And she's like, is she mad at me? I go, listen. I was like, she's an introvert. I was like, us introverts, like, we will act like we never saw her text message, and then, like, 2 weeks later, hit you up and be like, hey, sorry, just saw this. And, like, you know good and well we fucking saw that.
But
you
it's
know?
so funny because so I admit I saw her text message, but then I'm like, I'm going to reply to Rebecca. Like, it's on my to-do list, like,
No.
literally part of my to-do list.
But like, I quit making excuses. Like, like, I see a text message, and I deliberately go, I'm not going to reply to that. Like, I, like, look at it, I'm like, yep, not happening today. Because
Other people?
every time I
Yeah.
open a text message, it's like, hey, can you do me a favor? I need a favor. Or,
Yeah.
hey, I'm moving out of my apartment. Like, this happened all this week. Is like, every
Yeah.
text message I got, it was like, hey, can you, I'm moving out of my apartment this week. Can you do me a favor?
It was needing you, not talking to you. That's
Yeah,
what it
that's,
was.
which
Literally.
I'm fine with because you need some people sometimes to
Yeah.
help you with things. But, like, I was like,
Just overwhelming.
what happened? Okay, this is what happened at the dog park yesterday. So I got a text message saying, "Hey, can you drive a bunch of boxes over to our new apartment?" And I deliberately put my shit on don't disturb so they wouldn't hit me up. And I was like, I didn't see that. And I just like put my phone in my pocket. So 2 hours later, they drive to the dog park and see me, and they go, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "What's up?" They're like, "I texted you." I'm like, "Oh, really?" And I'm like, wait, whoa, aren't y'all moving today? And like, I just like acted like I fucking didn't even see the message. And I was like, fuck, like, I felt like a dick.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But like Rebecca, no. Literally, if I don't respond, and I'm like, I know I need to respond. Sometimes it's just hard for me
No, it's
to actually literally just
fucking hard.
think of a response. And I know that sounds shitty, but like sometimes I just don't have the energy to respond. And if I text Rebecca a week later, she's like, "Yeah, girl, okay."
Yeah.
Like literally,
it's so ridiculous to respond to people. That's why I hate texting. And it's like, I prefer people texting me because then it's like, if I don't reply, like they should just get the hint, like not a good time for me.
Yeah.
And then it's like, if I do reply to them, it's like, okay, like now's a good time to talk to me. I maybe once every 2 weeks I get really in the mood to hang out with people.
Yeah. Or that often. he'll offer.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest part of living in Cali right now too. Everybody is so temporary over there. You know, they're always moving. They're always, you know, and then some of the other wives are just total shitheads. Like, they're just like, they just think they're better than everybody else. Like, I think that's the hardest thing. So actually making a friend has been hard.
I don't want to say this in a way, but I feel like it's a California thing. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of Californians have that attitude. It's like, oh, I'm better than everyone else.
Yeah, like,
you know?
fuck Texas people.
Yeah.
Fuck Ohio people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. Fuck Ohio people. No, like, and you know, like, I've met some really cool Californians. Don't get me wrong, but like, I married one, obviously, but like, I get sick of people so much, you know. I get so fucking sick of people, and it's not really them. It's really me. It's like my tolerance for putting up with people's shit. Is so fucking low.
Literally, like, I think that's what it was. Cause like Rebecca's the only person from Apple Tree.
You're fucking slamming.
Me?
Oh my, yeah. You know, this is the first guest I've ever had that has finished their cocktails before me.
Gotta do what I gotta do to get drunk.
I might pause this so we can make some more fucking cocktails.
Really?
Yeah. Do you think that's a good idea or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
You might have to, cause these three is not doing it.
You know what's funny? I didn't want to get you too drunk, so I did single shots on all of them. So
I told you I was working on my tolerance.
No, but you also you sent a text. I saw the text you sent to Becca, and it was like nothing too strong, and so like I didn't want to. I meant in
taste.
Way, you know, if Becca had what you just had tonight, she'd have alcohol poisoning. Like she'd be like so fucking drunk, like she'd be throwing up. She would have like the shakes tomorrow. Like she would be
But I feel like she has fucking COVID.
Like, oh fuck, she would be like going through like awful symptoms right now if she had all of those drinks.
No.
Thank God.
This reminds me of, you know, when the ice melts or whatever, and you've got that little bit of watery alcohol in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
remember
like, wait,
in the office when she's like, "This is second drink."
She's like, it's like second drink.
Yeah. And she's drunk as shit and falls out the chair.
I forgot you like The Office so much.
That's Rebecca right there.
No, Becca is. Did I ever tell you the first time I got her fucked up?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna have her on my podcast at some point, and she's gonna tell this story because one of my questions is, you know, like, well, you know, when did you have your first drink? And what kind of drunk are you? And so I was like, have you ever drank before? And she's like, no. And we were like, she's like 19 years old. She's 19. I'm 19. And I'm like, well, let's get some fucking Jack Daniels and some fucking beers. And she's like, okay. And, you know, like I make her maybe like 2 shots of Jack and some Coke and some ice.
Yeah.
And she just fucking downs it. I mean, downs it like a baby trying to suck up a bottle. She's just like fucking downs it. I'm like, hey, like, and I have a beer in my hand. I'm like, hey, like, you don't need any more. Like, I was like, let's just see how you feel. And she's like, I'm fine. And then she grabs my beer out of my hand, starts taking gulps of it. Like, I mean, like, until it's gone. She's like, that's good. And then she puts it down, and all of a sudden she's like, whoa, I feel weird. And I'm with my little sister. I'm not gonna say her name, but I'm with my little sister, and you know, she's like, fuck, like we got her fucked up. And Becca ended up on the ground, crawling around, going like, like, and she's like, she went to the bathroom to throw up, and then she's just acting crazy. Like she's on the ground, rolling around, like, Jacob, come cuddle with me, and like all this shit. I'm like, fuck, she got too fucked up. Like, this is her first experience drinking. I'm like, that's
and she's fucked up.
And she's fucked up. Yeah, it wasn't even that much alcohol.
Not to you, to her.
But I wasn't even drinking a lot then.
Yeah.
Like it was like a little bit of whiskey and like a beer. Like I didn't think that would fuck someone up.
Definitely not. I think the worst. I wouldn't say the first time I drank mattered, but the last time I drank liquor was
tonight.
No.
Allegedly.
Like straight. Like I straight out the fucking bottle, tequila in the hand, just drinking it like that.
We'll go get the bottle.
Like,
I'm not gonna finish that shit.
please. Literally, I was on the phone, I think with Brian. He was still in school. So he was still at his schoolhouse training or whatever. I guess I was feeling lonely, just wanted to drink some. my dumbass is drunk in the fucking garage. It's fucking hot as shit outside.
Yeah.
And I'm drunk in the garage, throw up all over the floor. I'm just throwing up all over the floor. Finally make it to the bathroom. I decided to take a shower.
That's what you need to do is take a shower.
And I'm just laying on the bathroom floor, like clothes on, just like in the bathtub, just like laying back. I'm just drunk as shit. Like, and my mom's banging on the door. What the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm sad. And then you hear
so
Brian
cool.
on FaceTime. Brian's like, "Are you okay? Your mom's knocking on the door." And I'm like, "I'm taking a shower."
That's so gross. The drinking liquor out of a bottle like that is so gross to me.
I'm sorry. It was like literally there's probably like half the bottle left. I finished.
Yeah, but
all
like
of it.
you know what that does to your body? Like it just the dehydration. Like
Yeah.
you know, like when you have hangovers, you know why you get hangovers?
Why?
It's your body withdrawing from alcohol. Like it's alcohol withdrawals. Like you feel like shit. Like your stomach hurts.
That's why they say keep drinking, right?
Yeah, because like that's the trick. Like like when I say I wake up on Saturday mornings and have a fucking beer or something, it's like no, like I feel like shit. Like I gotta. But the thing is, the more you drink the next day, the third day is like
Worse.
quadruples.
Yeah.
It's shit. Well, let's take a quick break. Let's make some more cocktails, and then we'll continue this for a little longer. It's fucking fun. Motherfucker. I don't even remember what we were just talking about, but we have 2 new cocktails in the fucking fridge, so.
And a Dos Equis.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, we've got a Corona.
No, okay, so what were we just talking about? We were talking about your school.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Before that, maybe after that. Fuck. I just ran up the stairs, so I'm fucking breathing hard as shit. My face is breaking out in hives because I drank tequila. Oh, fuck. Okay, so, oh yeah, let's just jump into this. So, like, we were just talking about, like, that saying family first.
Yeah.
What do you, like, do you really believe in that all the way, or no?
When I see it, I think family is okay. So just take the first part. So family is who you pick because your family could be a piece of shit. So I could say you and Rebecca are kind of like family.
Oh, okay, so you're not like blood first.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm
So
not
it's not like-
down.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So like it's not blood. It's family. Family is who you pick is your family. I don't think just because you're related to them you have to be like, oh, that's
Okay,
my family.
yeah.
But then the first part, I kind of get that because, it was just me, my sister, my brother, my siblings. When we were growing up, we really moved around a lot. So I can see, I stand behind that because we put each other first on a lot of situations. Like if my sister's like, oh, hey, can I borrow $100? Of course I'm going to be like, yeah, I'll send it to you right now.
Yeah.
Like even if she's older than me, even if, there's like things I don't always approve of, I'm going to do for her first, even if it puts me in hard
Is your
situations.
sister on drugs?
No.
I'm just fucking with you. I'm just totally fucking with you.
She ran over nails the other day. She needed new tires.
Oh, okay. That's what she says. New tires equal new meth pipe, okay?
No, my sister's actually one of the most hardworking people I know.
I'm
She's
just fucking with you.
she can just be a little too live in the moment. She's not as prepared for the future as, you probably should be.
Yeah.
She doesn't really believe in a savings account.
Yeah. I will say that a lot of women have the saving grace of the potential of marrying a very wealthy man. So like,
just by the looks, so maybe she'll get lucky.
Yeah, maybe she'll get lucky. No, but like that saying, like family, no matter what, family first. Like we were just talking about something fucked up that happened here not long ago, and I'm not even gonna say that, but like. When people start defending their own blood's actions, even though they're very fucked up actions, and then they just say family first no matter what, it's like not everything needs to be family first. Like not, it's, you know what I mean? Like if you wronged your family, like if it's really family first, then like don't fuck your family over.
Yeah. Because if it was really family first, you would put family first. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how I see it. Because like I said, you pick your family. So if I'm saying family first, I'm meaning the people that I would put first before me. Before
And it sounds gay if you say friends first. So you know what I mean?
So yeah, I gotta say family first. I can't say Rebecca and Jacob first.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, that whole you have to be close with them, you have to be there for them. No, like you don't. You can do as much as you can. I understand that part. So yeah, you do as much as you can to keep that bond, to respect your family, but then to a certain point, if they're just causing more harm in your family's life or even in your life alone, then you just gotta.
There's a healthy amount of cutting people out of your life, I think.
And I can see that because right now my cousin's going through some of her own stuff, and we were really close for a minute, but she's been just making terrible ass decisions, and it's just like to a certain point, it's like we gave you all the help we could give you.
Well, then at that point, if you keep helping them, it's enabling. So.
And that's what my sister was saying. She's like, she just like, she wants the help. She keeps saying like, I want the help, but then she goes back and she does the same shit.
Yeah.
So like, literally, like it's so hard to help your family when they don't want it. So at that point, I would definitely say it's a personal decision. If you feel like you're at your end, then you're at your end, and if you feel like you can give more, then you can give more.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like, fuck. I don't know. I can't bring that up right now. Fuck. I'm gonna turn the AC on real quick. It's fucking hot. Maybe I'm fucking tripping. Oh, what do you normally keep your temperature at home? Like you always
we kind of like 70. We kind of like 69, 70, like that cool.
Hot 69.
We kind of like that cool. Like anything below like or above 70, we kind of can't do it. But in California, it's different.
Oh yeah.
So California's a bit, gets hot really fast.
It gets hot really fast here too. What the fuck are you talking about? In Ohio.
Ohio fucking sucks. But no, I feel like we can never find a good range because Brian, he when he sleeps, that man is like literally he's like a thermos, like he's just fucking hot, like that, like I can't sleep next to him sometimes because he's so hot, and it makes me like feel like all like sticky and hot.
No, I got you. So like you either gotta have that bitch cold in there, like yeah,
and I'm fucking freezing as shit, and he's like body temperature, or like he's gotta be sweating his like ass off, and I'm like content. So I think that one was our hardest moving in together.
That's one of my questions.
That was like our hardest. Other than that, I think the only other thing that he does that like I cannot stand is the trails of stuff. So he
like clothes and
trails of like beer bottles, like food, like
I do that shit sometimes. Yeah.
And I'm just like we gotta come to. I can do it when it's just us, but then when you're like, oh, my friend's coming over in 15 minutes, like, dude, get your shit together.
Yeah,
like,
no, I understand that. No, like I don't like this. I'm gonna exaggerate this a little bit, but like I wake up like after a Friday. I do a podcast every Friday, and I always have like this exaggerative way my wife wakes me up. She hovers over me while I'm hungover. She's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, have you ever seen Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah.
You know where she throws the fucking water in his face? And she's like, who the fuck is Venice? Like, whatever. Like, that's how I feel like when I wake up. She's like, I need you to clean all your fucking mess from your podcast. Like, she doesn't say it like that, but that's how it feels. I'm like, fuck. Like,
that's how you think she said it, but she's probably like, hey, can you clean up?
No. She doesn't even know. Like, but that's how it feels when you're hungover. Like, any task that you're asked to do is a fucking burden. You're like, fuck.
You're like yeah, I can in like 5 hours.
No, like in like a day. Like last week I went so hard on my last podcast that it took me till Monday morning to recover. Yeah.
Like
but then I drank all day Saturday, so like I said, it doubles the fucking hangover symptoms. So
I know drunk Brian is a little different too. He's a little meaner. And,
is he mean?
He's if he's not having a good time, he's mean. You know what I mean?
It's so someone that likes to get drunk, like little things can either make them have the best time of their life or really set them off into like a just leave me the fuck alone kind of attitude.
So, but it's so funny though, cause he won't. He's the type of person that like if his friend pisses him off, he's not gonna say anything, but then he'll say something to me. So then he's fucking pissed off, and then I'm like, why are you fucking mad? Like, now we're both fucking mad. But he's like, he would rather spare their feelings and, you know, kind of complain about it on his own than he would, you know, tell them, like, and then it's a drunk fight and it's not worth it,
Yeah.
you know? So I understand him on that part, but he's been drinking, like, all his life, so I don't
Yeah.
know if that correlates either, because his dad literally wakes up, drinks.
Oh, what's wrong with
every day.
that?
Well, every day.
No, you're not every day. Okay, I'm a morning weekend drinker sometimes, but you know, what was I gonna say? I've had 2 guys on this podcast,
Yeah.
and I've had 2 girls, and then you would be the 3rd girl that I've had on this podcast. And I've enjoyed having the girls on the podcast so much more for some reason. I don't know why. I think when girls get drunk, like, they're not aggressive. Like, the last guy was not aggressive at all. Like,
Yeah.
he actually, like, it's either, this podcast goes 2 different ways. The other person gets really drunk, and then, like, we're talking for 3 hours, and it's time to shut it off. Or like, someone blacks out and does something stupid, like one of the last times. But, like, girls, I've noticed have, like, I think also it depends on what I make. I make different things for girls than I do for guys. Because girls are like, I like fruity drinks, so I make fruity drinks. And, like, I don't know. Girls getting drunk on the podcast has been so different than guys.
Yeah, I feel like we're just, like, kind of more carefree and then just chill.
Yeah. No, I really have preferred having women on the podcast. I really have. But, like, also, I think it's, I think I've actually felt like the girls appreciate, I guess, the hospitality aspect of it, if that makes any sense, where, like, there's free drinks and it's just conversation, and I feel like women appreciate conversation a little more than men do. You know what I mean?
And the drinks are like, you put thought into it. You're kind of asking us, like, kind of what we want.
I have felt like every time I've done that, like, I have I've gotten so much, like, hers is way less strong than mine. So I put like 4 shots of fucking whiskey in there. But I think it's more of that. Like I think that they've noticed. Okay, babe, drink mine.
It's okay.
I think they've noticed that, like, I do.
It's good, right?
I do go through the effort of making specific drinks for specific guests, and then I go through the effort of, like, I have pages of shit that I wrote down, like, just in case, like, we run out of something to talk about, and, like.
But even that, because, like, even if you were like, hey, like, you know, let's get drunk and do the podcast, I probably would have been like, okay, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, so what am I finna bring? Like, what do I need to bring? You know what I mean? But then you're like, oh, well, what drinks do you want me to make you? And that, you know, that changes it. It's like it's more like I just have to bring me.
Well,
yeah.
Then that's how I try to make it, because, like, I've had so many people, like, what are we going to talk about? I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, I got that taken care of. Like, do I need to bring anything? Like, no. Like, I went to the liquor store. Like, I took care of all the drinks. Like, you drink for free. You sit down and you, like, only thing that I request of anyone is you just give me your time and your conversation, and that's it.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it easier to talk to, because especially if you're like, you know, just come as you are. And And then, like, for me, as somebody who doesn't feel that a lot, I think that's what is calming, because, like, my anxiety would be everywhere if I needed all the details. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. And I've had people like, oh my God, I don't know if I could do a podcast. I don't know what to talk about. I'm like, I got that taken care of. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's all it is. It's like, all you're doing is coming and drinking free booze and just talking to me. That's it.
And you probably do that on a fucking Saturday.
You know how I started this, right?
Yeah.
I got really drunk at a beach party, and my buddy Lance. Let's do this real quick. So let's say you're my buddy Lance. I go, so what brings you? Like, we're fucking hammered. He's high as shit. I go, hey, so what brings you to my office? And he's like, eyes half shut. He's like, what? I'm like, I'm your therapist. Like, what are your problems? And he's like, I don't have any fucking problems. I'm like, sir, like, well, obviously you're in my office for some reason.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, you know why I think you're in my office? He goes, I'd love to hear this. And I think you're in my office because you have a drinking problem. And he's like, oh, fuck off. He's like, like I kept calling myself doctor. And he's like, you're not a fucking doctor. And like we went literally like 3.5 hours. And then eventually, like at some point, one of my friends started recording it, and I was like, and then like we were so drunk and so fucked up that like the next day we didn't remember it, but we just had this shitty recording. And I was like, I want to have those drunken experiences, but I want to be able to remember them someday.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to capture like those party moments with people
that you probably wouldn't remember.
No, and like
entirely.
that we would forget forever.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I started this was like.
And I think the aspect of, you know, catching everybody off, like, because first you sit here and, like, you're like, oh, shit, I'm going to be recorded. Like, what am I going to say? But then you're kind of like, oh, it's just drinks. You're just talking.
That's all it is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so, like, at first I was, like, maybe a little nervous. And then, like, then it's like, oh, it's just talking.
Yeah.
Like, I probably do that every day anyways.
But and also, I'm not being like, oh, you should drink to have good conversations. But I think everyone is a little nervous that I bring on here about the recording part. But what it is if you notice after their second or third drink, it's like all of those nerves go away. And then like the real shit, like you can just have a conversation at that point. You know what I mean? Like, and like, so that was just my thing is like, I just want to have like anonymous conversations with people, and I just want to drink with them and just capture those moments that I'm not going to be able to have when I have kids. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can't tell you how many nights I've been fucked up and had conversations with people that were so funny that I'll never remember again. You know what I mean? Like, and if you can have a couple drinks and forget that there's a microphone in front of us, like,
like, why wouldn't you just do it for the memory?
it's memories for me, you know? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I think that's one thing I've been. People are like, oh, why are you always taking pictures? Why are you always, you know, recording stuff? Like, I just like it. That's one thing I've realized is like the memories are really what makes you like stronger. I don't know how to say it. Stronger because you know you're going through a lot or whatever, and they're always there.
Hey, baby. But on top of that, I think at some points in your life, it's so important to take time to reminisce.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take time to reminisce, like reminiscing can be very depressing sometimes. God, you were just you're mowing through like a fucking like lawnmower through that shit.
What should I do?
Isn't that your second drink?
No, this is
like
our
my
fourth or fifth.
This is my fourth. This is my fifth.
Wait.
Oh, I'm gonna make you one of those with Japanese whiskey. It's the fucking best. We have another one in the freezer. Go get one.
Okay, wait. Let me finish my strawberries.
Huh?
Mojito.
We finished the mojitos.
You did. I
They
wanna
were
try it.
really good.
I mean, they were refreshing. I can make you one in a little bit.
They
I mean,
were like,
I mean, we're not gonna go like a 3-hour podcast like I've done before, but like we're just gonna talk for like another 30-ish
I
minutes.
want to have a mojito. I'm not on your
I'll-
level. I'm not on your level yet.
I'm not on your level.
I can teach you how to make one.
What you make is something.
I got a little left. You want it? I have this one too.
I'll have a sip.
I'm surprised you like that one so much. The Kentucky Kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean like
I like that one. Yeah.
no, but like I think it's so important to reminisce about times in your life. Like that's why I like music so much. Is that I feel like whatever kind of music you're listening to now, in 5 years from now, you're gonna listen back to that album or that song, and it's gonna take you back to your emotional state that you were when you were 21 in Ohio or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
21 in Ohio, do a fucking podcast.
yeah. Okay, so quick question. What is your favorite thing about your husband? Would you say?
I've gotta say it's a mix of generosity, but it's also like he has this caretaking aspect of him.
Well, he's in the military.
Even before, like when we first started dating, his parents he was super independent. You know what I mean? So when we first started dating, I was super independent. But then when we like started dating, we were like, okay, you know, we're together, whatever. And I was always stressed about something. My parents were divorcing, you know, whatever. I was like, look, you can break up with me, or you can, stick it out through the summer. Like, my parents are divorcing. It's going to be a hard time. That's literally what I told him. And he stuck around, and, like, if I ever needed anything, brought it to me. If I ever needed anything, bought it for me. My parents were going through a really hard time. Like, divorcing, they kind of weren't worried about us. So, and I know that's a shitty thing to say.
No, they weren't. Because they're battling
their own problems. So, like, for him to, stay through something like that, even as, like, a first start dating, it was crazy that he stayed so long.
Yeah.
Because I definitely put him through some shit.
Well, I think he knew what he had. You know what I mean? Like,
I definitely, it was hard because, like, I was super fucking probably depressed or super, like, sad. My parents are, like, crazy and...
Probably moody all the time like you are now.
I
like,
know. But for sure, I think he steps up more than a lot of people would. A lot of people would step out. A lot of people would call it or whatever. But for him,
I would.
Even with his friends, even with his like somebody who needs him, he always says he would rather step up and be there for the person than regret not being there for the person if something bad happens.
It's a great mentality to have.
So
he's not gonna die with any regrets.
No, yeah, he just feels like. Like, if I don't do this one thing to help this person, like, where are they going to go? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it kind of gets to him on a deeper level, and I really appreciate that because I've never had to question his intentions.
Yeah, that's very, very
important. I think
important.
that's what it is. I've never had to, like, say, like, oh, why is he doing this for me? And I'm like, oh, he's only doing this for me because he's my husband. No, he's only doing this for me because he cares for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing I would have to say about him.
And what do you think the deciding factor for you was for marrying him? I mean, that probably has a huge factor, like him just being there and putting up with your shit.
We always actually joked on people who got married really young. We were like, yeah, we don't want to be them. People who get married young, their divorce rates are so high. Like, we always thought about that. But then when we, my whole college experience, I actually moved in with him. So we were actually living together at freaking 17.
What a pervert. He's such a pervert. Living with a 17-year-old? That's fucked up.
We were both 17.
I'm just fucking with you. I know that. I'm fucking with you.
But so we were actually living together at 17 or whatever. His mom, was on the fence about it, whatever. But I'm like, dude, like, my parents, like...
Didn't his mom have a problem with y'all getting married?
She did. It was more about how... So in Mexico, the thing is, you move in together, you get married, you have kids, whatever. It's like, it's such a firm belief. And I didn't really understand it at first because, I'm kind of whitewashed. Just a little bit, kind of blackwashed. But, so she kind of thought we were skipping steps. She thought we didn't know each other long enough. And I'm like, dude, we've known each other for like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Like, some people only know each other a year and get married.
Yeah.
And
or know each other a couple months and get knocked up and then they get married.
Saying.
Yeah.
Like, so I just felt like we were in such a comfortable position, and he was joining, and that wasn't the deciding factor. A lot of people are going to say, like, oh, that's your deciding factor.
Why? Because like they take care of you and things like that. Yeah,
because you want to move with them. So when military couples get married, it's because they want to go with their spouse.
Or their girlfriend or whatever at the time.
So for me, I don't think that was my deciding factor. I was actually scared of moving with him.
Yeah.
So I think my deciding factor was not having him in my daily life like I did before.
Yeah. So
it was more like, I'm so used to having you here every day. Like, we're basically living together at 17. Like, why wouldn't I marry you? Because I literally know everything about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why would I waste my time and say no?
Yeah.
So at first he was scared to get married. He was like, I don't want to be one of those people, whatever, we're cliches, whatever. And then he was like, no, like, fuck it. Like, I want to get married. Like, and he was like, but if we get married, we're doing it right. Like, we're not having half-ass wedding. We're not having half-ass shit. Like,
I loved y'all's wedding, by the way. It was it was so wholesome. But not only was it wholesome, it was there was something. My favorite part about your wedding is when you dance with your dad.
Yeah.
Because I saw something in your dad that I probably won't ever get to feel until I have a daughter.
Yeah.
But it was like almost like the way he held you. And I also saw the same thing when my wife got married.
Yeah.
Was like the way he held you for the last time before he let you go. In a weird, like, like let you go and like in the care of someone else.
Yeah. And it's crazy you say that because when my parents did separate, it was me and him. You know what I mean? So my sister can say like I was raised differently. I wasn't raised the same because I was actually the only child that stuck with my dad. So for that whole probably 3 years that it was just me and my dad. It's a different kind of bond when you're together, kind of like that. Compared like it's like my siblings didn't stay with my dad either, but then it's like it's just me and my dad. So that bond was a little different. So
well, it's also like your dad. I'm sure he has some form of gratefulness that you stuck by his side.
Yeah.
Like because as a father who's getting divorced and like feeling like. I'm sure you had this feeling of like, oh my God, all my kids are leaving me.
Yeah.
And then to have one kid stay behind and be like, I want to live with you.
Yeah.
That had to be so special to him. So
and it's crazy you say that because the same reason like that my dad is grateful, my mom actually held a grudge.
Is resentful. Yeah.
So it's
I was going to ask you about
how
that.
both sides go because my dad was so grateful that I did choose to stay with him, and then my mom was like, well, why did you pick him?
How many kids did your mom get?
My mom got the other 3. So my brother, my sister, so my mom actually moved out first. So a lot of people think my dad moved out first. So my mom actually moved away to Katy. And Schillenburg, she moved away to Katy, an hour away. And so we all stayed with my dad for maybe a couple weeks while we were trying to figure it out, whatever. They were fighting a lot. And then my sister left first.
Yeah.
So it made it hard. My sister left. That's my sister. That's my best friend. And then after my sister, it was my oldest brother. But he left because he had a lot of health problems. You know what I mean? So it was hard for my dad didn't understand his health problems as much as my mom did. So he's got asthma, he's got anxiety, he's got depression. That's like a bomb. So the asthma triggers your anxiety, the anxiety triggers your asthma, you're in fucking panic attacks all day.
Yeah.
So, and then after my oldest brother,
I'm sure just having asthma, like knowing you have asthma, that gives you anxiety. Like, what if I have an asthma attack? And then it's just like a cycle, like.
And it's crazy because he had an asthma attack the first week we moved to Schillenburg, and he had to go to the hospital in an ambulance. And everybody was like, "This fucking kid's going to the hospital in an ambulance. He's a fucking senior, whatever," talking shit about him. You know what I mean? So you have this real health problem wrong with you, and then your anxiety is like, people are talking about me, or people are saying like nothing's wrong with me.
That is so sad.
So like,
I don't mean to butt in, but like, is this your brother that passed away?
Yeah.
Yeah, from an asthma attack, right?
Yeah.
Like he just couldn't breathe.
He just so nobody was home to help him.
Right.
He usually before that he always had somebody. So somebody was always at the house just in case.
And I'm sure that helped his anxiety.
Yeah. So he was getting better. He just turned 21. He was feeling like he was under control. His anxiety, his depression, his asthma was more under control. But he would have these weird flare-ups, and we always just thought it was anxiety related. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And it probably was. But then he just like sometimes he would just have an asthma attack randomly, and sometimes it would be seasonal, so we would be able to blame it on allergies. It's getting you congested or whatever. But then like that whole last year of his life, it actually got pretty bad, and I think it was just like a couple changes, stressors. You know what I mean? And then my family, all of them went on a trip, and I'm living with my dad, so I'm in San Antonio.
Yeah.
So all of my family went on a trip. While they were gone on the trip, nobody was home. And he had an asthma attack, and nobody was there to catch it with him. But he did call the ambulance himself. So he was telling the people on the phone, "I'm having an anxiety."
So he was having such a bad asthma attack that he called the cops.
He knew the process. He said, "I'm having an asthma attack. I can't breathe. Like, can you guys get here?" Nobody's home. They just didn't make it in time. They just like and it happens like that. They're doing their jobs, whatever. Sometimes it takes a while. But during that time, when you don't have oxygen, it kills your brain slowly.
Yeah, I know. You go brain dead, and I know the whole process.
So it was like that, and it was hard.
And didn't you get married? Was it before or after the date that like the when you got married? It was like the anniversary before.
So his anniversary is on August 8th of 2019, and my wedding anniversary is on August 7th of 2020. So it was a year after, but around the same,
Yeah, no, but does that, having your wedding anniversary so close to that, does that make it hard?
So we actually celebrated our first anniversary this year, and
congratulations, by the way. Yeah.
I think it made it easier. It's a comfort level that I won't be able to get having him here. So the fact that the dates are so close, it's like, we're kind of sharing that time.
You're sharing his life, but also it's a sad event that happened, but also you're mixing it with a joyous event at the same time.
And it's crazy though, because it's like my wedding anniversary, his anniversary passing, and then my birthday is like 4 days later. So like it's just like the whole time frame does kind of suck to have such events, pushed together. But then again, it gives you that comfort that this is a day we celebrate him.
Well, Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Do you know how poetic it is that you have in that same month?
Yeah.
It's a death. It is also like a coming, like it's all the major events in someone's life. It's a birth.
Yeah.
It is a death, and also a marriage. And like, if there's not any more significant moments in someone's life, I don't know what is.
Like,
besides having a child.
Yeah.
And if you have a fucking child during that month, I'm gonna be like, fuck
that would
you.
be fucking insane.
But like, no, like just the fact that that whole month of your life represents almost life in general for everybody. Is like you have to deal with death.
Yeah.
You have to deal, with being born, and then also on top of that, one of the most beautiful things is when two people find each other that are perfect for each other in this world, and they come together, and it's like all of that is celebrated in your month, your wedding anniversary, the death of your brother, on top of that, like your birthday. Like that is so poetic in a weird way, because it's like it's I think it's a perfect representation of like life is so bittersweet.
And that's how I kind of see it, because like our first wedding anniversary wasn't perfect. He's not here, so we had a FaceTime date, and
when he comes back, like for y'all's next wedding anniversary, I'm gonna like crash it, and then like I'm just get fucked up with your husband. And
that'll be like over the fucking top.
And then my wife can just hang out with you, and we'll just like replicate your fucking wedding night.
Yeah, because I think it.
I'm gonna get another beer. Do you want another beer?
I got this.
Okay, I gotta pee real quick as well. Keep talking a little bit. I'll be back. No, but it's fucking crazy. Like, I finally feel my face stopping from that. I think the Benadryl's working. I really do.
It's kicking in.
Thank God. Oh.
No, but I think having everything so close knit is actually one of the. It's more comforting than it is sad. Because of course, the day comes, it's sad.
Yeah.
And, nobody would. I would never wish that on anybody I hate. Like.
Well, you could have gotten married at a different time.
But it kind of was important that it was, around that time. I don't know why.
I think why is that I think you're never going to forget. And maybe like, I wonder if subconsciously you got married during that month, just as of like, I never want to forget that date. Like, like,
Yeah.
you never want your loved ones to be forgotten.
Yeah.
And
But,
like,
well,
oh.
at first our biggest factor, even before anything happened, because not a lot of people know that me and Brian have been engaged since high school. So we actually were engaged like way before he thought about joining the military, way before like anything. We just like we're always like, you're my person.
Well, then when you were talking about like the factor wasn't for me to fucking go or whatever, like no, that you were engaged since high school.
Well, but like it was that that kid.
Yeah, but he still proposed to you.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
You know how cute that is that it actually worked out.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same.
Do you know how many times like something like that, like some fucking high school dick like proposes to his fucking 6-month-old, not 6-month-old, I'm sorry, 6-month like relationship.
Yeah.
With his girlfriend, like, let's get married, like, and he's just saying it because like it's romantic in the moment, and like 90% of that shit never
works
out.
Right? No, I don't know how to explain it. Because it was a joke at first. We were like, I told you we used to joke on people who got married young all the time. So it was a joke at first, and then we were like, at some point we kind of settled, and we're like, I think you're it for me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of start feeling like that after a while. And then at some point he was just like, no, I think you're it for me. So I think that's what it was, and that's kind of how he presented it. I wouldn't say like we were, completely like super ring engaged or whatever, but we were kind of more settled, engaged, like I kind of wouldn't want to do this with anyone else.
Yeah.
So that's how we felt for a while.
If you can't get to that point with somebody, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Because like, I mean, I used to have girlfriends in like middle school and whatever, like. But there comes a point where it's like, oh, you really start questioning, like, what the fuck is the point of dating if there's not going to be like a long-term thing? It's like, are we just fucking around? Like, you know what I mean?
And that's one thing like I couldn't see myself doing as a teenager. Like I have no shame saying like my husband saying the only person I've been with. I actually think that's like the biggest plus in my whole life.
Yeah.
Trusting somebody so much to where they're the only person you've ever been with. And so...
Like sexually speaking, is that what you're saying? Yeah.
So I think it's crazy because my sister.
Does it go both ways for y'all?
Yeah, it does. It actually
does.
That's
awesome.
That's
fucking awesome. Like you don't understand. Like I'm my wife's first, but like I've had sex with only one other person, and I consider that a fucking win for me. Like I'm like when I was 13, I had opportunities to have sex with people. I'm like I'm good. Like I was always waiting for someone. And then I got involved with, I'm not going to get too into it, but I got involved with somebody that I really thought I was going to marry, and I had sex with her, and...
Was it mutual, probably?
What?
It was?
She forced it on me. Like, I don't want to say force. Like, there's nothing forced for a guy. It's like, oh, she raped me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was more like, she would text me little things like, I wish you were here with me, and like I was so innocent at the time. I was like, she's like, wish you were here with me, like I wish, whatever, X, Y, and Z. Like she'd text me things like that, and I'd be like, well, I don't want to take advantage of you. And she's like, I wish you would, like you.
It was more like temptress.
She would like make me feel, what's the word? I guess demasculate. She tried to like demasculate me, like.
So it's like reverse psychology.
Yeah, like it was like, well, like I wish you would take advantage of me, like kind of like she gave me a vibe like you're a fucking pussy, that you don't even want to touch me that way, like kind of like that. And then like so we ended up having like sex, and then I was with her for like 3 years, and then like I found out she was cheating on me for like 2 years, and it was like fuck, like it broke my heart. But I met Becca, but like that was my mindset at 17 years old, was like probably same as you, like you and like you wanted to get married.
Like I didn't want to have
and like,
to be with somebody.
You didn't want to do that with anyone else. Like y'all came to that conclusion. That's how I felt. And then it was like, well, I have to do this to someone else now because I'm not going to be with this bitch. So, and then like it was just. But I consider that a very moderate number of people to have sex with. I've had sex with 2 people in my life, and I only plan on.
keeping it that way.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's how it. Like I've only had sex with one person my whole life, and I plan plan on both of us keeping it that way. Like, I couldn't see it any other way. Like, it's just, it's a victory, but it's like also like, it's rare now.
Yeah. It's incredibly rare now because it's not like a virtue. I feel like I've heard girls say like, oh, like all my friends have had sex, so I just want like a one night fling during the summer, like at a party, just so I can say I'm not a virgin anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but like, there was something I wanted to ask you real quick. So when your parents were having a divorce, what would you say the main factor in that was why they wanted to split up? And like your mom has a girlfriend now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't.
Just to put that out there. No,
I know. I don't think that's like a weird thing to bring up.
No,
I hope it's not too intrusive.
No. So I think so when you're in a military lifestyle. So as growing up, whatever, my dad actually did 3 deployments. So that's 8 months you're gone a piece, right? So 8 to 9 months. So my mom.
It's like 3 years almost.
Yeah. So in total, that's like 3 years you're gone out of your kid's life, out of your wife's life. So my mom is the grudge style person, I guess you could say. So
what do you mean? Like she held a grudge against people? Yeah.
So whenever my dad would leave, he'd come home and she'd be like, well, you weren't here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you weren't here to see this happen. You weren't here to notice this change, da-da-da-da. And that's one thing Brian was taught. They actually give you classes before you deploy. So that he was taught, they're telling him, like, your wife's going to build a life without you. Your wife's going to build a routine. Your wife's going to, settle. And then when you come home, you're crashing her routine. You know what I mean? And I do feel that. I feel like I've gotten in a different routine. I feel like I've gotten, my own thing going on.
Yeah.
And he's going to come home and we're going to clash. And that's meant to happen.
Well, like, what do you mean you're going to clash? Because, like, I mean, obviously you have your own thing going on. Like, you're in Texas. You're going back and forth from California to Texas.
So when I say clash, I don't mean, like, in the worst of ways, but I mean, like, our dynamic's going to be off for at least a month. Like, at least, because, I'm in my routine, and he was over there by himself in his routine. So
and with a bunch of guys as well.
So he had to take care of himself.
I mean, they're fucking farting. They're fucking, like, drinking like a fish. Like, they're acting like idiots. Like, they're just making fucking jokes all day long. And then
they're
here you are.
drinking, like, 24/7.
Yeah. And then here you are at home taking care of the bills. Visiting family, dealing with drama.
Dealing with his mom, trying to keep everybody informed about him. So that's one of the biggest things they actually tell you. Like, when you come home as a Marine, you have your life, but your wife has her own life too now. You know what I mean? So you're inserting too. So it's a compromise when it comes to settling back to where we were together.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be super hard because that's one thing my parents couldn't do. My parents, every time my dad came back home, it was just separate. Like, they couldn't come back together to get it settled, and that was the biggest grudge my parents held toward each other.
I think it actually is a benefit for you to have...
Time apart.
No. To have lived and have had your dad being a military person. Because also also witnessing your parents' marriage not work out. Because it's like you can really... look at what they couldn't get right, what they did wrong, and really be like, I saw how my mom treated my dad when he came home, and I also saw how my dad treated my mom when he came home, and
I don't want that. Like,
and there needs to be a compromise between both of y'all. I mean, this is a random thought, but God, that blowjob, the first blowjob you get when you get back from fucking...
It's so funny though, because...
No, like, this is so random, but like that, like being with a bunch of guys for like months
and years. So when he went to
years.
boot camp, here in boot camp for at least 13 weeks, right? So I go to his graduation. Me, his family, we all go. My dad went because he wanted to pay respects, right? So we were actually able to get our own hotel room as 18-year-olds.
Y'all were consenting adults.
Yes. And so I was able to stay on base because my dad's a Marine. And a lot of the other girlfriends couldn't do that because their dad, wasn't serving. Yeah. So on that very first day, family day, on that Thursday, before he graduates, I'm like, hey, can you come help me unpack shit from my bag? Like the stupidest excuse. Go to the room. Bang it out. We're good. Come back. like we like it, but it's different when you are so connected with somebody. Then you know you can't wait. You know you're gonna have to find some excuse.
No, but like I was just saying like we're just talking about how like your mom and your dad couldn't work it out, but like now like you and Brian like I can't imagine being with a bunch of guys for like 8 months or more than that, like a year, 2 years, whatever. Like that first blowjob's gotta be like fucking heaven. Like god damn.
I actually through boot camp I got one sex letter.
One sex letter,
and it was just like, you know, saying I miss you, whatever, all this stuff or whatever. And he was like, it's so fucking hard being surrounded by all these fucking dudes, dicks everywhere. He's like, this is such a fucking turn off.
He's like, it's fucking sausage fest up in Afghanistan or whatever.
He's like, I literally had to go to the whole separate fucking part of the building just to even think about you. And I'm like, dude,
that's but I'm not gonna lie, it's the worst when you're around a bunch of guys and you have like a sexual thought and like your dick starts getting hard. Like I'm not trying to weird you out or anything, but it's
you're like I'm not trying to be gay.
I know, like it's just like and then if someone asks you, hey man, can you get up and like go pick that up for me? And you're like, fuck, my dick's hard. And, like you have to like hide that shit. But like, no, I don't want to be weird about that. But like,
he said that was actually the hardest. Like he said, yeah, boot camp was hard, but he said the whole like you stop your life for like almost 3 months. You stop your life and you're training.
Yeah.
And so he said I was used to like having you every day like, and he said like that's the hardest part is that you have to change your
sex
desires.
Drive. Your sex drive.
Yeah,
your
desires is like your desires are completely cut off. You're just surrounded by all these fucking dudes. If you do anything, you're gay. That's how he felt.
No, and like that's how it is, and like there's nothing worse, I'm sure, because I never experienced this truly, but so like let's just like put in like morals, like so like you're only supposed to have sex with your wife, like, and you're only supposed to do things with your wife, and so knowing morally, I don't know what his morals are. I don't know if he's Christian or not, but like knowing that he has somebody to do those things with, and then not having that outlet nearby has to be so fucking hard
and stressful. Like I can't imagine the stress. Like you're probably I need a stress
reliever. If you want to know anything about me, if I don't come every 3 days, I'm a fucking dick. Like I will like murder somebody. I'm like if it's like day 4 no sex, I'm like straight up like the clerk at the gas station could be like, how's your day been? I'm like, don't fucking ask me how my day been. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Like, just
give me my fucking alcohol because my fucking wife's not fucking giving me like I just fucking go off and like I get so fucking pissy. And then like even if my wife's like, hey, can you do the dishes? I'm like, you do the fucking dishes. Like, fuck you, bitch. Like, I go off. Like, I can't fucking control myself. Like, but what it is like for men, like we have testosterone. It's the hormone, and like, and a lot of it is released when we have sex. And so like, if you want
the buildup of that.
You don't understand the buildup. It is so like. It's like a baby could be like.
I'm actually taking a human sexuality class right now, so
I'd like to know more about that. Or can you tell me something about it?
So I just did a project, and we're evaluating how elderly people actually have the same sex drive as young people.
I was just listening to something about this today. Okay, tell me yours, and then I have to tell you something about mine.
So elderly people have the same sex drive, but at the same time, it's the want to be intimate. You know what I mean? So that kind of was the basis of my project, because it was like we had to pick an ad about elderly people having sex, and it was an ad. Sorry.
No, I had to tell you. I have so much to continue. I have so much to fucking tell you.
It was an ad, and it was like, even if you do nothing but whisper sweet nothings, it's intimate. That's what the ad was, and the guy was kissing the lady's cheek or whatever, and they were in bed, whatever. So it was just suggesting like they were being intimate. And so my whole paper was over that one ad.
Yeah.
And so like I had to explain like how how they're feeling, what it is, and like everything surrounding the whole ad. And so I actually learned that most elderly people still want to have sex, but the reason they don't is because they don't feel wanted, and that's actually really sad.
No,
to me, that's really
very sad.
because it's like, maybe their sex drives off, maybe they can't do as much.
But also, most elderly people, by the time they're like, let's say, are you talking about like people in nursing homes and stuff like that?
Like even just older nursing home, yeah.
Okay. Like most of the times, if you think about it, by the time they're really old, they're mostly women, and the fucking men have dropped dead by then. Yeah. It's like, I mean, the drinking we do, the fucking the
smoking,
smoking causes cancer, like like all of that, so most likely it's a woman whose husband has passed away.
Yeah.
And she still needs that intimacy, and I mean there are men still. I don't know where I was going with this. Never mind. I'm fucking drunk. But no, like there are like needs for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was just sad to read that the reason they don't want to be intimate is because they feel like they can perform, and so like
perform or can't?
They can't. And so like after reading that, it's kind of crazy because like maybe sex is the goal. Sure, sex is the goal. But at the same time, being intimate is the bigger goal. You know what I mean? So like even just being so close and just being stupid, all those little things.
Sometimes the pillow talk is more fun for me and more satisfying
rewarding,
for me.
Yeah.
Rewarding for me than the actual sex. Like just laying there next to each other, being like
so close,
being like,
I can't fucking breathe.
I can't fucking breathe. I think I have COVID. Like that kind of shit. Like that is the more fulfilling part.
It was just sad.
But that is depressing.
Yeah. That people don't see it the same, because like literally like when I was reading the article, it was like older people shouldn't have sex, and then like you can say that, but then it's like, what's your basis? What's your reasoning that they can't do what you do? Because
I think you should fuck more when you're old. Like if you have nothing to live for, like your fucking kids are out, like you paid off all those college tuitions, like dude, fuck your brain. Like so, here's what I was gonna say. There's like recently in the past 50 years, like herpes and shit has ran rampant through fucking nursing homes. Yeah. Because they're fucking little Frankie, old Frankie and fucking Beshi, they fucking go to each other's beds, and Frankie fucks Beshi, and then Beshi fucks 5 other dudes in that week, and then they got fucking STDs, and it's like these people have only known one other person in their life, because really if you think about it, a lot of old people really only had 1 or 2 partners.
Yeah, they were pretty committed.
Yeah, and that's depressing.
Yeah.
But also, there's another fun study, I guess, where not a study. There was a podcast I listened to today where someone wrote in and said, so if our intent every time to have sex, deep down in our psychological reasons for wanting sex, is to reproduce, so meaning to have children, they were like, why do old people still have a sex drive sometimes, and what's the point of that? Because if our biological reason for having sex is to have babies, then what's the point? And then the doctor's response was, well, if you really think about it, this is one of the first times in human history that people live the age that they are. We have medicines, we have shit, we have surgeries, and they're living longer more than ever in history. And so that part of our brain has not been cut off because it's part of our psychological reason. We die at 40. I looked up in the Middle Ages, you're lucky if you lived to 30.
Yeah.
And then it's so that's why, no wonder why fucking little girls were having kids at 11 years old.
Yeah.
You got your period, it's fuck, time to go to fucking King Richard's house and fucking have a fucking baby. It was they had to have children to move on, and that was their only motive for a sex drive. But it was all subconscious. It's not they're oh, I need children. It was that was their sex drive. And then people would die at 40, 50 years old if they're lucky. That's living to 50 back then would be living to 110 now. So You know, it was one of those. It's one of those things that old people are living longer now, and they still have that need. And this is the first time in
And
human.
they're still people. They're
And
still they
This is
want
the
that
first
care.
time in human history that old people are around
Yeah.
to still have those, experiences and those feelings, and it's
Yeah.
it's fucking sad.
I think it's like when I do projects like that, like some of the other projects are bullshit, like or like over math.
I would get passionate about that subject.
Yeah.
Like if
So
I were you.
yeah, my paper was pretty good. I actually got a 96, so I'm pretty proud. But no, like stuff like that really like makes me think like, you know what, in 50 years or me and Brian gonna be like having sex, or
I'll be
we're gonna
dead.
be
I'll be dead in 50 years. Like
No, for me, I think I'll outlive Brian. Brian's liver is a little worse.
No, you're gonna fucking outlive Brian in a
Yeah.
heartbeat. Dude, bury me next to him. Like I'll
His-
fucking.
His stress mixed with his alcohol intake is like.
Well, like
me
let's be
too.
real. He has one of the number one stressful jobs in America.
Yeah. He
You know?
comes home like, they say stress is actually the number one cause of death in America, is because we as Americans are so stressed out about our jobs, about our kids, about our
What I
lives.
opened the podcast with, it was
Yeah.
like I listed everything that we have to go through,
Yeah.
and on top of all the bills and everything, it's like then
So
it's like
it's
yeah.
just like stress causes stroke, stress causes cancer, stress causes unhappiness.
And then if you mix alcohol with any of that, it actually quadruples your fucking symptoms. Like
so then you're like, you're fucked. Like
you're fucked. Like,
like maybe you'll be lucky to see 45, maybe you'll be lucky to see 50, but you're fucked.
how do you think Brian's gonna go? And but also, how do you think you're gonna go?
So for Brian, definitely either liver-related cancer or lung-related cancer. There's no question. That man smokes so much fucking nicotine.
He
So-
smokes like what? Like cigarettes?
cigarettes when he's super drunk, but when he's like he's chilling, he's got his vape. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But, like-
that's exactly that's exactly what I said at the beginning of the podcast. I was like, oh yeah, and by the way, on top of all that, like, honey, it's not too good to have more than 2 drinks a day. And it's like, oh yeah, and I bet cigarettes cause cancer, bitch. Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
I
Oh.
think he's a goner first, for sure.
no, he's going first. Like,
And then for me, I get stressed out on smaller things, but but I'm not as unhealthy as he is. So I think give me 5-10 years after.
you're gonna live so much longer. Like, oh my god.
Because the way he drinks and the way he smokes, I cannot.
How much is that fucker drinking? More than me?
No, I think you guys match each other.
Okay.
So I think you guys are gonna go at the same time.
Yeah, like you know what? I'm definitely going out first. I'm a little older than him, so.
But
Fuck, my fucking smoker laugh is acting up,
the way
motherfucker.
the way he actually describes the likeliness to develop a smoking and drinking habit as somebody in the military is insane. Like it's so, they say it's likely, whatever, but the amount of people that are actually in the military right now that have an alcohol addiction is because of the stress caused by their work.
Wow.
So he says, like, he always tells himself, like, I never want to be one of those people, but he's like, I'm stressed every fucking day. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, I want to go home and drink and not care. And he's like, that's how the habits form, though. Yeah. So like it's crazy to know that that's their outlet. They can't do drugs.
Can I tell you something? I just ran into this guy at the pool over here, and this was the last weekend when I went so hard that I was hungover for 3 days.
Yeah.
Becca goes, "Hey, meet these new people at the fucking pool. Like, come hang out." I'm good. Okay. And then I was like, okay, like, fine. Like, I feel like shit. I don't feel like going. I go to the fucking pool. And I'm talking to this guy, and I'm drinking more. And I'm starting to feel great. I'm like, oh, man, like, all those alcohol withdrawal symptoms are gone away. Like, I started to feel good. And, like, he's like, him and I started talking about whiskey. Turns out he was in the military. And he goes, hey, man, if you want to go on base with me, He's like, they got liquor stores out there. I'm like, what? I'm like, they have fucking liquor stores on base? He's like, yeah. He's like, I get discounts. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, dude, I bought a $200 bottle of whiskey last week for $70. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, do you think you can give me a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle bourbon? And he's like, yeah, I can fucking do that. And he's like, why don't you just come with me this weekend? We can go to base and we can... And he just starts going off. I'm like, fuck. Like, they give fucking military people, like, discounts on liquor? Like, what the fuck is wrong with them?
And that's the debate in America right now. It's like, you're old enough to join the military.
But you can't drink.
Yes. So, on base, I probably shouldn't say this. You actually, if you go to the bar on base and you're a civilian on base, you're supposed to give the military member a drink, regardless of their age. And it's not good to say, but
allegedly, guys, this is in Ohio, so Texas might be a little different.
Yeah. But it's not even a law thing. It's just like a common courtesy. You're respecting their sacrifice. You're respecting, what they do. So you're like,
they deserve a fucking drink.
Yeah. You deserve like probably 5 drinks.
No, like more than that. Like you want
you
the
deserve a whole bottle with your name on it.
Yeah, like I mean, I can't wait till he's back in town so I can do a podcast with him because I would love just to fucking get lit with this guy, with your husband.
Dude, like I'm telling you, like he's just ready to come home. He's talking about it. He's like. Our home we've built in California, of course that's our home.
Yeah.
But, the people you surround yourself with is your home too. So of course he wants to be in Texas. California's our home, but, we want to be here with our people, with our, our friends, our family.
Your people? Are you fucking Native American? These are my people. Yeah, no.
So,
no, yeah.
He's having a hard time, not being able to, to turn the corner and have someone there, So it's hard to do that over the phone.
I want to see him so bad. I've only hung out with that dude once.
And then we've only seen him on FaceTime. So
yeah, like the funny thing is that I've hung out with them once, but I feel like I have such a good bond with them.
Yeah,
just
and
once.
It's like that when you're in the military though, because you're like you can kind of see past the bullshit. You know what I mean? So like you hang out with somebody and you can see that who they are.
Yeah.
So they even if they've only met another Marine one time, they're like, that's my brother and that's gonna be my brother. And I think that's kind of how he sees you, because he's like, he's only met you that once, but he's seen what you do as a person and he respects it.
What, like get fucked up with people?
No,
that's all I'm good at.
Like you're a husband, you care for other people, so he kind of sees that and he's like, there's not a lot of people who do that so openly and
I guess so.
are good people.
Yeah.
There's too many shit people in the world, so you're kind of rare.
I'm a pretty fucking shit. Do you want another? Do you want that other drink?
Yeah, let me go to the bathroom first.
Go for it. Yeah, I'll pause it real quick. We're gonna pause. You know what I do when I say when to pause it? I talk shit about my guest. Yeah. So just go for it.
She's fucking drunk.
I don't even know why I fucking did this podcast with this bitch. Like, she's so fucking annoying. Like, holy shit. She just, like, rambles on about her fucking husband and how he's a fucking military person. Like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I'm here to talk about other things. Like, like, what the fuck? Like, what a fucking bitch. Like, I'm just messing around. No, the other day, I was touching my dick, though. And hello? Oh, I'm back. What the fuck? Trying to get lit tonight, guys. It's a good podcast. I had a really fun time. I'm just kidding. Motherfucker. I was young with ambition. Fuck around with these hoes. Never needed permission. Went and lived the life that I chose. Premonition type visions. See the world as it goes. Tell them all what they missing while I watch them dancing them foes. I'm touching my death. Fuck with a kid, I was trying to go rock with the best. Watching my step, never no college pen for myself, not enough, always on test days. I could have been a great graduate, would have got one of the hope from the bachelor that could have been smart. Could have been a doctor, life for the drama, no subop, falling in love. Lucky that I got you, almost got it knocked up. Would have been a father, all about energy, make good memories. I'm the fucking Dalai Lama. Only 18, then I have my own business, then I got family. What the fuck is it? I talked so much shit about you. I really did. Real quick.
Jacob's the worst. He drinks so fucking much.
Yeah, you want your other drink? Oh,
This one was on the left, this one was on the right.
okay. Fuck.
This is
I
like
think
this.
they're the
It was
same,
like
to be honest with you.
But they're like frozen.
They'll melt real quick. We're getting another couple beers too.
Okay, good. Mine's out.
Yeah, mine too. No, but on top of what we were saying, like way earlier, when like I do this podcast, like I go through the effort to like I put a lot of effort into it, accommodate, but like also I either make sure that everybody is staying here, or I'll provide like an Uber or like a fucking ride home as well, you know.
I think that's like, I don't think I could ever support the drinking and driving thing. That is just too.
Well, I had a couple incidences my first couple times.
Yeah.
My first podcast, I did. Okay, when I did my first episode that's on YouTube now, I did like 3 others before that, but I couldn't get the audio taken care of.
Yeah, check that shit out.
Yeah, check that shit out, guys. But I was listening to it today actually, and I told a story where like, oh yeah, like last fucking month we did a podcast and we're telling stories about like I like the first 3 episodes I did. I just let fuckers drive home, and they were like, "Yeah, I blacked out." They're like, "I blacked out on your podcast. I don't remember how I got home last night." I'm like, "Fuck, like, this is a liability. Like, I could really fuck some people's like lives up."
Yeah, for
And-
sure.
and
The
then
guy at the fucking Cheesecake Factory when you wanted another drink, he didn't fucking care.
Let me tell this story real quick. Okay, so we were at a Cheesecake Factory, and we got to the bar because it was so fucking packed. I'm gonna pour a little bit of beer in mine, and hopefully
the rest of the strawberries.
that'll melt it a little bit.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's liquor. It shouldn't fucking freeze. But then I went to the bar, had 3 straight whiskeys, and then like I got a 4th whiskey, went to the fucking table, and then like had 3 more there, and I was like, can I get another whiskey? Like the guy's like, yeah, for sure. And then you're like, don't worry, he's not driving. He's like, I don't care. And I was like, dude, you're the reason why people, like a family of 10 gets wiped out at night. Like,
he was just worried about his tip. He was like, if my tip ain't great, then I'm taking that shit back.
But, I'm not joking. That's the reason why a family of 10 gets wiped out. Like
the people that slip through the cracks because nobody is, like, too worried about the other person.
If I was serving me, I'd been like, are you driving? Like, oh my God.
Because it is a little norm for the male of the group to drive. So, like, for sure, if I was, I used to work in a Mexican restaurant, and we didn't serve alcohol, thank God. But we were connected to a bar. So, sometimes I would just, wonder, like, is this person driving home? Like, I don't serve them alcohol myself, but is the bar checking these people to see if they're good to go home? You know what I mean?
Well, I saw a movie the other day where, like, this guy it was a TV show actually, this guy in the TV show was getting really drunk, and the bartender was like, "Hey, Mike," he was like, "Hey, like, I think you've had enough. Like, I don't think you need any more." And then he just like looked at him, pulled his keys out of his pocket, slid it against the bar, and then he just served him another drink. And it's one of those things that I think that I've only been cut off one time at a bar. And I've been blacked out drunk at bars before, and not once did a waiter, a waitress, or a bartender ask me if I was driving home, because they're there to serve me drinks, get their tips, and go home. But I'm not supposed to talk about this, but it's Alcoholics Anonymous. So I just read this case in Ohio, and it was the city suing this bar because it let this guy drive home, and he, on his way home, there was a cop directing traffic, and he hit the fucking cop, and then now they're suing the fucking pub that he was at. I'm not saying it's a pub or anything. I'm definitely not saying it's in Kendall County, Ohio. But the person hit a cop, and then now they're suing the bartender that was there.
And it's hard to think of it like that, because it's like, me as a bartender, should every single person I'm serving be my responsibility? No,
I don't think it should.
You know what I mean?
I don't think it should. I think you should be responsible for who you're serving and how they're acting in the bar. If they're acting crazy in the bar, I think you should cut them off at the bar. But if they're just drunk, like they're drunk and they're like heading home and they're not being a dick to everybody else, it's like, I think as a bartender, you did your job. Yeah. You made sure they didn't get too drunk to where they were being assholes to people, and they weren't causing a scene. And it's like, beyond that point,
because I'm pretty sure if you see the guy with his keys in his hand and he's walking out the door and he's fucking falling over everybody, you're probably gonna be like, "Buddy, should you drive?" Yeah,
no, but like, I think it should be a law in America, being like, before you order a drink, like maybe after 2 drinks, be like, "Hey, are you driving?" And if they say no, and they say, "No, I'm not driving, I have a ride," or "My wife is driving," or they have someone in their party, get them drunk. Yeah. But I think it should be a law after like a 2-drink minimum. After that, being like, I can't serve you anymore unless you have a designated driver or you can give me your keys. Yeah. And then I can arrange a taxi for you.
And I can see where that is, because of course, like, once they leave the bar, is it really your problem? Not really.
It's your problem, but it's not your responsibility.
Exactly.
Like,
so it's like, you can think about, like, the complexities of it. Should they have served that man another drink? But what if that dude was just sitting there fine drinking? Like, what if he didn't even show like he was drunk?
I have been at a bar, and I have ordered drinks on top of drinks, and I've like just sat and talked to the bartender, like not really slurring my words at all, and then just like pay my tab and leave, and I'm fucking blackout drunk. Like, and the thing is, like, you can't always like monitor someone, like, how drunk is this dude? Because
like, everybody has different tolerances.
Some people can really handle their shit.
Yeah.
Like, I consider myself one of those people that, like, for the most part, I can handle my shit and not black out, not act like a fool at a bar and not get kicked out and shit like that. Like, I might be slurring my words, I might be like, another drink, but like, I always make sure that I have a designated driver. But like, I think it should just be a common law, like 2-drink minimum, and then after that, like, check in and be like, hey, like, if you're driving, I'm not gonna serve you anymore. But if you're not driving, I'd be more than happy for you to get fucked up at this establishment if you're not gonna act crazy.
And that's what makes it so hard as a probably. I mean, like anywhere that sells liquor, that's probably so hard, and they probably let so much slip through the cracks because there are so many people.
Well, it's almost like you should sign a waiver to get into a bar, saying like, any drinks that are given to you at this bar, like, we're not legally responsible for you afterwards. Like,
and it's not like the bar people are pushing it on you.
No.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
you're coming here to get drunk.
Like,
so what do you expect? You should have lined that shit up. Like,
yeah, like if you go to what I hate is when people go to bars. And like, I very rarely go to bars unless I have a designated driver, because I don't. I've met so many people that go to bars they get drunk, like really drunk, and then they go, fuck, how am I getting home? I'm like, dude, when I go to bars, I know exactly how I'm getting home. I know how I got there, and I know how I'm leaving. And it's always, I always have at least 2 or 3 backups to get me home. And it's ridiculous when people, especially like people in their 20s and 30s, like
and they just show up and
they just show up,
yeah.
and then they get fucked up with all their friends, and they're like, fuck, like I guess
How
I'm
are we
driving
getting
home.
Yeah.
I guess I'm driving home.
And
It's like, me as a 24-year-old, if I can understand the concept of a bar, you show up, personally, you show up, someone drops you off, and you get a ride home from someone else. You do not fucking drive to a bar.
Yeah.
Unless you are having a lunch with somebody and you're having 1 drink and you drive home. That's fucking it. Because even after 2 drinks, you're already over the legal limit. You know?
I just think it's like insane that people can even. People are so, they want to drink, but they don't want to take the responsibility from drinking. I think that's what it is. So they want to get drunk, but they don't want to be like, oh, well, my responsibility is not driving drunk. So I'm going to drive drunk home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's like, dude, like, there are so many fucking Ubers, rideshare, Lyft.
Programs, yeah.
There's so many things, like, you don't even have to call a taxi anymore. You know what I mean? Hey, baby.
She looks cold.
It's freezing.
But no, I mean, we don't have to do this too much longer. I'm sorry, I'm having a really good time with you, by the way. Like, yeah, you can hang out, baby.
You want to taste mine? Mine is pretty strong. I think
Yeah, I made these fucking stronger because obviously you were.
Yes, they're strong.
It's kind of good though.
By the way, mine's stronger than yours.
Right? It's pretty strong.
Is that a Kentucky?
I don't know which one
Let's
this
get
was.
Kentucky Kiss.
Yeah. This one, what? You put double?
Oh, I feel like half.
He said we're
If
either.
you're after this podcast, if you're still down, I'll make one of these with Japanese whiskey. It's so fucking good.
Okay.
Jade, what are you guys talking about right now?
Right now, we're talking about like how ridiculous it is for
the bartender to be liable for you driving home drunk.
yeah. So like if you go to a bar, let's say Becca, you have a sip of a margarita, get a DUI because you're a fucking lightweight. No, I'm just kidding. Let's say like you have like maybe like 4 or 5 margaritas and you drive home, get arrested or hit somebody. The bartender gets in trouble for that as well as you obviously.
Because they served you, so their action of giving you the alcohol got you drunk, and then your
And by the way,
drunkenness-
like I think every bartender knows like there's not a line of taxis out of every bar. Like
Yeah.
they know that most of the people that they're serving are driving home.
Yeah.
So it's fucked up. It's
It's
really,
Do they just have to cut it? Like, oh, we can't serve you.
no, but like we were just talking about how they don't do that.
Yeah, a lot of bartenders are just like, I'd rather have my tip than cut you off.
Well, like yeah, because like I told her like how many times I've been drunk at a bar, which I've never been the one driving, but they never asked me. They've never even asked me, hey, like have you been? Are you gonna drive home?
At Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, that's why we brought that.
Exactly what we were saying.
That's why we brought that up. We're like the guys that I was like, I'm not driving. He's like, oh, I don't care. Yeah.
She always makes me the same time as us.
She's clingy. It's good. And anxiety. But
Yeah. Oh, what is one of the like? So, your marriage is a little different than mine. Way different.
yeah.
Well, but like when y'all, how long did y'all live together before he had to get deployed?
I would want to say.
There's so many things I want to ask you. God, it's just taking so long.
So through high school, when my parents were separating, I lived with him for the school year. And
Okay.
then that summer I went with my family, and then that next school year I lived with him again. So my senior year, I guess. So I would say we lived with each other for about almost a whole year.
But like after you were married, like almost a year.
After we were married, we lived together. I was able to move in January. He had got the house in October, so he was living by himself for like 2 months, whatever. So I was able to, get up there by January, February, March. He left in April, so we were living together for almost 4 months before he left.
Okay. Like, so, like, oh, you didn't really get to experience that, like, that first year of, like, living with someone.
That
like,
whole year.
oh,
Yeah.
like, how terrible is it? Like, you know how fucking terrible it is that you fart in front of your fucking spouse? Like,
But
what
it's actually funny though, because people say that, people are like, they tell us like,
You guys still don't fart in front of Becca?
I do.
I
I
don't-
fart in front of Brian like all the time. Like I'm gonna be like, you're gonna have like every part of me if you're having every part of me.
I still don't do it. I'm like, God, like.
It's so funny because he jokes on me so hard about like we are so comfortable with each other, but it's because of the times we were able to stay with each other when we were younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I got
not
you.
everybody
Yeah.
gets that. So
Make sure you lean into the mic a little bit.
So
Um,
when we were like through high school, we were already living together. So it's like we already did all of that. We already experienced all of that. So it's kind of like, it was nothing to move into with each other.
Gotcha. Okay, so like, here's another question. I have 2 more questions for you at least before we get on another tangent. Okay, so what would you say one of his nastiest like habits is?
I would say, I don't know. That one's hard.
Does he have bad habits? Like, I mean, you already said like he
couple-
leaves a trail of like beer cans and
Yeah.
clothes and shit.
I think they're all little bad habits. I wouldn't say they're the worst or deal breakers, but I think the one thing is, so I hate feet. Like if you put your feet on me, like it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like feet is just, you stand on them, you work on them.
They're gross.
Yeah, they're
you wear
gross.
socks all day, they get
That's what I'm
sweaty.
saying. So as a Marine, if you do not take care of your feet, your career is over. So your feet are, you stand on them all day, you're there in boots all day, you know what I mean? So they're literally like your whole,
Yeah.
you need them.
Well,
And-
you ever saw Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the one thing that they say, like when Forrest went to like Vietnam, was like take care of your socks. Like that's
Yeah.
like their one thing. Yeah.
So like as a Marine, if you don't take care of your feet, you're fucked. Your feet hurt all day. You have fucking fungus. Like all these different type of things. So I would say his worst hygiene is taking care of his feet, and I have to literally clip his toenails. Like literally, it's like, and I hate feet. So it's like
You're like clip, like fuck you. I fucking hate marriage. Like yeah.
Like I don't think there's anything bigger than that, because honestly, it's just that.
Dude, I would say my worst hygiene problem is my teeth. So I'm drinking red wine, I'm smoking cigarettes, I'm smoking cigars, vaping, like black coffee, and then it's like I just a pain in the fucking ass for me to brush my teeth for some reason. I fucking hate
I
it.
think I see that too, because Brian has that some days when he feels like he has a stressful week. Some days it's a little harder. You know what I mean? So when he feels like he has a stressful week, he's drinking, he's smoking, he's doing all these different things. But then that next morning, it's like, oh, I don't have time to brush my teeth, and I have to remind him, and I'm like, dude, like brush your fucking teeth, like you.
Yeah. No.
And I get that, like
No, Becca's lucky if like once every 3 days I fucking put mouthwash on my mouth. Like she's fucking lucky.
And it's crazy that you actually bring that up, because they actually say, as somebody who has severe anxiety or depression, that is actually one of the hardest things you can do.
It's fucking hard for me.
That's
it
what I'm
really,
saying.
I have both of those, but like this is an embarrassing story, but this one time I'm laying in bed with Becca. Like I just went on a 3-day drinking binge, like straight cigarettes, coffee, hard liquor, like beer, not brush my teeth in 3 days. And I was like this, like laying down in bed, like my mouth wide open, like this. And then we're watching Friends, and she goes, "Did you fart?" I was like, "No." And I go, and like breathe in. I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "It's my breath." Like it literally smelled like a fucking boiled egg. I was like, "Fuck me." I was like, "I'm a piece of shit. Like I can't even fucking deal with this." Like, oh my god. But like, it's just when you do, for some reason, like for me, it's just hard to take care of my dental hygiene. Like,
I don't think my dental, Actually, I get pretty freaked out about.
Really, you have really shitty breath. By the way, I'm just fucking with you. Yeah.
No.
I'm totally kidding. Like I'm messing
No,
with you.
I think I think it's my hair. You know, as a girl, your hair is long or whatever, you don't brush it. But when I get in my really bad states, I don't brush my hair. So then my hair's knotted
You know what I
up.
love? I love when a girl gets all of her hair and just lays it on top of her head. I've been trying to get Becca to do that forever.
I think I taught her how to do a
Yo,
bunny
can you
shoot.
fucking? Because she hasn't done it since, motherfucker.
You just wrap it on your head.
No, like I find that so fucking attractive. Like, no, babe.
But that's the point. It's just not gonna stay.
What color eyes does your fucking husband have?
Brown.
Brown.
We have shit eyes.
I love brown eyes.
He's so.
Did I ever tell you how I don't want to say how I picked Becca, but like I wrote a list. Like my mom was like, like my mom told me the story where someone in our church wrote down everything he loved about like what he wanted in a woman.
Yeah.
And he like wrote every little thing down.
Detail, yeah.
And like the next day he met that person and they got married. I did the same thing and like Becca checked off like every little fucking mark. Like it was so fucking cool.
She said, "What did I do?"
Don't worry about it, baby. I love you.
She's like, "I'm your top tier."
Sometimes.
No, I think, but it's actually crazy though because that you say that because when it came to me and Brian, I don't think we had boxes. It's like for me, it was more personality. So when we went through high school, everyone would be like, "You scored her, like you're with her, like you're nothing," and like they would make fun of him so bad because he was a little skinnier, he was like taller, he was lankier.
I like how skinny he is. But at the same time, like, who are they to say that?
Yeah.
And first of all, like, who are they to say that? And I think y'all are perfect for each other.
Yeah.
Y'all are amazing.
Yeah. It wasn't anything close to like, cause it wasn't anything looks wise. It was literally strictly personality. Like the way that we clicked was so different. Like literally when I first met him, he was so fucking rude. He called me like disgusting. You know that line from I think it's like Home Alone. You filthy animal.
You dirty, filthy animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was my clarinet tutor, and he was like, trying to make jokes or whatever, and he was like, "You're fucking disgusting, you dirty." So that's how that went, and then a couple months go by, and then we're like sending each other like love notes basically through our lockers.
but like, what's so crazy is that, in my opinion, I've met a lot of girls who said that like, oh yeah, at first I really wasn't attracted to my husband.
Yeah.
And then they go, but like his personality really changed that, and then I really became attracted to him. I think a personality is everything because a personality for a pretty chick can make her look ugly, and a personality for a really ugly chick can make her look pretty. You know what I mean?
For him, it was he was cute. I'll admit that he was cute.
He's cute. He's cute.
But his personality, like
You sure you don't
settled
want any
it.
vape?
No.
Oh my god.
Not right now. Brian's at least like a 12 out of 10. At least. Looks are maybe like 4.
I fell in love with I fell in love with Becca so fast. Like the way that I met her was I was having an argument with my ex-girlfriend, and I was in Hawaii, had shitty Wi-Fi reception, and I was just like fucking pissed. I slammed the laptop shut, and then all of a sudden, some girl that I met at a coffee shop pulled up, and she goes, "Oh hey," like, and she always called me Caleb for some reason, because apparently I look like someone from her hometown named fucking Caleb. I'm not fucking Caleb, but she's like, "Hey Caleb," and I was like, "What's up?" And she's like, "This is my friend Rebecca," and I just like got off like one of the worst conversations. One of the worst conversations I've ever had with a woman. It was bad. No, and it was so bad. I was having an argument with my ex-girlfriend, and then I just slammed the laptop shut. I was pissed off. All I hear is, "Hi, Caleb." Like, my name's not fucking Caleb, motherfucker. And then like Becca was with her. We all ended up talking, and then that girl had to go take a piss. I think. I really think she was taking a shit. She took forever. And then like me and Becca were just like stuck together for like 30 minutes. And, like we just hit it off right away. And like, and then I went home that night and I said a prayer to God. I said like,
Thought
God,
about it, yeah.
No, I just said like, God, like that was a really cool person. Like if I'm supposed to marry that person, like
If you brought
I
them
said
to
something
me, yeah.
random. I said like if she was wearing something red tomorrow, like maybe she's my fucking wife. And like I said that, and I even wrote it down in a journal. I have it somewhere here where I wrote that down in a journal. And the next day, fucking Becca shows up in something red, and I was like, fuck! I was like, fuck, it's my future wife. Like,
You're like, fuck.
It fucking worked out. It really did. Like, it was
I think
cool.
it's a little different for us. We were, for someone like me, I believe in God, but there's been so many adversities where it's like,
fucking atheist.
it's a little hard to put your trust, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't say I don't believe, but I believe in the higher power, but I think there's more, it's more complex than that, you know what I mean? That's how I feel. And so I don't boast that, or I don't, you know, talk about it.
But yeah, I don't tell a lot of people that. They get people tell me I'm
Yeah.
fucking crazy or some shit. But
so
like,
I feel like I have my own beliefs, and you know that's what you do as a person. And then so when I met Brian, he was super rude to me.
yeah,
and I thought that was a deal breaker, but then it was just something about him that, you know, stuck. You know, something about your person usually sticks to you. So then it was months went by, and he was just a friend for a while. He was actually my clarinet tutor.
Yeah.
Gay. Stupid fucking nerd.
He's fucking gay. Yeah, fucking nerd.
And so he was my clarinet tutor. He would always tell me how terrible I was. You know, I could be better. I could do better. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And so after a while, he wrote me a letter about all the songs that reminded me of him. And I thought it was so cute because I was like, dang, like I've never met somebody who's actually paid that much attention to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it started. Like we kind of were just like, you know, sharing things, you know, sharing little things. But then after a while, you see the person as, you know, more than a friend. So I think that's how we kind of built our grounds is, you know, he was a friend first, but then he was like somebody who was there in a different way, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So that was the most attractive part of him, was that he was, you know, there for me, that he was consistent, he never left. You know, my parents were kind of shitty, they kind of left every once in a while. So to have somebody who, you know, never left you as a friend, even, I feel like that was just a good personality trait in a spouse.
Definitely. What was I gonna ask you? Oh, here's another question I have for you. What is one of the most cringiest moments of your life? I want to hear this so bad.
I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm a little drunk right now.
I am too. So this is the whole point of the podcast. We're about to be done with it, by the way.
I'm trying to think.
We've been going 2 hours, 21 minutes, so we're good.
I don't know. That one's hard.
Let me ask you this. So, like, your mom has a girlfriend now, right?
Yeah.
So, it does, like, was she always bisexual, or was she always, like...
And it's crazy, though, because I experimented just a little bit when I was in, like, you know, like, super early, or super late middle school.
Yeah.
So I had this girl I was, like, a huge crush on. My parents hated me. My
Yeah.
parents hated that I had a crush on a girl when I was in middle school. And my parents were like, you know, that's not right, you know, whatever. They were super pissed at me. We ended up moving to Schulenburg. You know, I met Brian. Okay, they thought I was okay. And then my mom gets a girlfriend. So then I was like, you're the biggest fucking hypocrite I know. And that's how I saw my mom for a long time.
I would feel that way. I would be like, oh my god, like you shit on me for being interested in girls, and then all of a sudden like you have a girlfriend. Like I'd be fucking mad.
And it took a really long like sit down to understand like she wasn't interested in the girl aspect, but she was interested in the person aspect. So I kind of had to respect that. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm ever interested. You know, Brian, he was like, he's a boy. He was always there for me. I don't think what caught my attention was that he was a boy and that he was, attractive.
Yeah.
What caught my interest was that he was there for me and like, he was genuine. And so I think I had to break it down to that level. Like it's not about gender. It's not about, like whatever. It's about who's there for you and who loves you enough to stay.
Right.
So I think I had to give her, like a little bit of the benefit of doubt, but then I was still like, you're a fucking hypocrite, bro.
Yeah, no, like for real, like no, really.
And her girlfriend, like, don't get me wrong, her girlfriend's nice. Her girlfriend, she's a good, stepmom, whatever. So like her girlfriend's a good person, but it took me a long time to come around just because of how much my parents were so book and like strict when it came to me expressing my feelings to other people. So when my mom got a girlfriend, I was pretty fucking pissed, and I was like, "You're a fucking hypocrite," and I didn't say that, but I was just like,
but you felt that way. You really
like,
did.
That's how I felt. Like you're a hypocrite. You didn't respect me when I told you how I felt as a kid. And now you as an adult are doing something that I probably, I was feeling, and you're telling me that it's okay now just because you're doing it. So, that's kind of how I felt. And then after a while, I came around more understanding, it took my mom probably like 30 years to find out who she was. It took me only probably like 15. You know what I mean? So I had to understand, like, everybody grows at their own pace. Everybody understands who they are at their own pace.
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest thing.
Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, that was like one of the last questions I wanted to ask you, because I know that you opened up to me that you weren't always into guys, and then I know that your mom is into girls like now. I don't know if that's like a permanent thing for her, but that's nuts. But about that cringiest story. Come on, the last thing we're gonna talk about on this podcast is, come on, everyone has a cringy story. A story that you think of in your head, and you're like, oh fuck, like no, I don't want to think about that, like that kind of story. Come on.
Think like okay, so I'm gonna tell this story, but it's like my most embarrassing story.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking for. Your most.
So there was one time in elementary school, I had to pee so bad. I had to pee so bad. I kept telling my teacher, like, look, I gotta pee, lady. Like you either you're gonna let me go to the bathroom or I'm peeing on myself. She literally told me no. I peed on myself, literally in the fucking classroom. So whatever. So then she's calling it an emergency, whatever. I don't know. And then my mom came and she was like, why'd you fucking pee on yourself? And I'm like, my teacher told me I couldn't go pee. Like, my teacher told me I could not go to the bathroom. Like, if you're yelling at me, I was like, go yell at her. She told me I couldn't go to the bathroom. I fucking peed on myself. Like, I'm upset already. And so my mom had this huge argument with my teacher talking about, like, why can't she go to the bathroom, whatever. And telling her, like, kids are going to make fun of her. She fucking peed on herself. And my teacher was like, well, it was in the middle of my lesson. Some bullshit. You know what I mean? And so.
By the way, this isn't fucking college. Like, it's not like we were in the middle of my lecture. No, this is like, we're learning my
elementary. Yes.
ABCs. What are you going to miss? D? You fucking bitch. Like.
And so my mom, like, went in on that lady. She was like, she's a fucking child. She has to go to the bathroom. You're not going to let her go to the bathroom. Of course she's going to fucking pee on herself. And so all I remember is being, like, in the bathroom in, like, this big-ass, hoodie that my mom gave me, waiting for my mom to bring me clothes. I think that was the most embarrassing thing I've ever done.
Really? Okay, so before we end this, I want to tell you one of my most embarrassing stories. So there was this girl. I was in 3rd grade. Her name was Cheyenne, and like my whole life, like, so if you look at me right now, I didn't have glasses, but like I had my hair like this, like all cut back like straight, motherfucker, like some little fucking nerd. And like I was just a little nerdy kid, but then like I started doing like my little Bieber haircut before Bieber was a thing, and I started having like this skater hair look, and then all of a sudden a lot of girls started like giving me attention. They like wanted to like oh my god, he's so hot, like I want to date this guy. So there's this girl named Cheyenne, and she was in a different class than me, but she was like, oh, I really like him. Like, I want to get his number. And I was like one of her friends told me, like, hey, she wants your number. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, this is the first number I've ever gotten from a girl. I was, like, freaking out. I got her number. And I go home, and I told my brother about it, my older brother. I was like, I got a girl's number today. He's like, call her. He's like, I don't fucking believe you. He's like, you're a pussy. He's like, you don't fucking get girls' numbers. He's like, fuck you. And I was like, I promise, I got this girl's number. I swear to God. And my brother's like, okay, well, like, why don't we call her right now? So we get back then we had house phones. Like, that's not like a thing anymore. But like, we got a house phone. I dialed the number, and it was Cheyenne. Hello? And I was like, fuck. I got so nervous, I hung up. I was like, fuck, like, I just got, like, I don't know what it was. I just couldn't talk to her. I didn't know how to talk to girls. And so I was like, fuck, I got to call her again. I was like, my brother's going to be $20. I was like, fuck. And so I called her again, and I talked to her. I was like, hey, blah, blah, and then I actually, like, the phone hung up. Like, it was disconnected. And then it hung up, and then I called again because my older brother was in the room, and he's like, fucking call her again, you pussy. I was like, all right, no problem. Called her again. All of a sudden, her mom picks up. And I hear in the background go, oh, it's Jake, it's Jake. Bam! I hear this fucking bam! Like fucking chairs going somewhere. Like, I was like, what the fuck? And her mom's like, who is this? I was like, Jacob. And she's like, what do you want? I was like, I want to talk to Cheyenne. She's like, why? I go, up yours, bitch. And like, I literally said that into the fucking phone. Hung up. I show up for school the next day. Cheyenne is not at school. I show up the next day. Cheyenne's not at school. The next day, Cheyenne's not at school. Then it was the weekend. I show up that Monday. Cheyenne's in a fucking cast. And apparently what had happened was I had called her so many times and hung up like all those times. She was so excited to talk to me. She ran for the fucking house phone, slipped, broke her fucking leg. And then her mom, that's when her mom answered. And I told her, up yours, bitch. And then I just hung up, and I never spoke to Cheyenne again. It was just fucking crazy. It was whatever. It was a stupid story, but yeah. You know what's crazy? I ended up dating her like 5 years later. Like, and then I lied to her. She's like, what? So like, what happened that night? Well, like, you kept hanging up and shit. No, you're good. She's like, you kept hanging up and shit. I was like, yeah, it was my little brother that did that. And she's like, oh, that makes sense. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I fucking lied to her. Well, you have successfully made it through an Alcoholics Anonymous podcast. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, I did. I'm definitely drunk.
It feels great, right? No, yeah. You should hear the last episode I did. I was like, well, you finally made it through an Alcoholics Anonymous podcast. Like, and the other guy was like, yeah, you're drunk. I'm like, I'm not fucking drunk. Like, no, this was a great episode. Well, I hope your husband comes home soon. So yeah.
Me too.
All right, let's end this. Okay, we'll start in a second. Oh my god, no, but fucking tequila. Have you seen my face? What happens to it when I drink it?
I don't think I don't think
it's so bad. Like, from the tip of my nose, I started breaking out in these red hives, all the way down to my neck, the way down.
What were you drinking that day we went to the selfie museum? Was it that? Because I think you're.
I was drinking Disso. Oh no, I was drinking a lot of things. Oh, when I cut my thing.
Yeah.
Blank Beats Production. yeah, yeah, yeah. This is my podcast, this is my show. If you don't fuck with Christy, man, it's time you gotta go. If you wanna drink, let me pour a little mo. I just wanna fucking glow, I don't wanna take it slow. I was drinking at 11 fucking years old. I was playing G.I. Joe, I don't wanna fuck with hoes. I just wanna fucking flow, man. Mom saying she don't need a fucking alcoholic in the house. So Chelsea moved out, her apartment got loud. It was fucking going down, everybody fucking drown. Everybody drinking Crown, everybody throw it down. Everybody love the sound, man. Ta, you fucking retard. I don't give a fuck if I'm going too hard. Pay for my dick with a fucking debit card. Christy bad as fuck, sucking dick up in a car. Said she got standards, it's fucking so bizarre. She don't like I'm soft, man, she fucking like I'm hard. Jesse play his part, but he's way be apart, man, yeah. Whoa. This is Alcoholics Anonymous. Whoa.
Like, I bet you got the shades. Like,
Fucking alcoholic, man, I bet you got the shit. Okay, here. Okay, guys, come on. It's quite enough, yeah.
Blank Beats Production.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, what the fuck, Jake? Man, you got me fucking baked. You fucking alcoholic, man, I bet you got the shakes like a fucking earthquake, like for motherfucking sakes, yeah. Ta, you fucking retard. Ta, you fucking retard, yeah.
Like it, share it, fuck it, drink it. This is Alcoholics Anonymous.
Okay, guys, come. It's quite enough, yeah. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. What the fuck, Jake? Man, you got me fucking baked. You fucking alcoholic, man. I bet you got the shakes like a fucking earthquake, like for motherfucking sakes, yeah. Ta, you fucking retard. Ta, you fucking retard, yeah. Like it, share it, fuck it, drink it. This is Alcoholics Anonymous.